If I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna talk that law. Let's talk about it. But before I begin, for those who may not know me, I'm a Texas trial attorney. Y'all see the law license on the wall, signed by the 9 justices of the Supreme Court. I was minding my business and I was drinking my water. And somebody said the verdict is in. The moment we all been waiting for. Somebody say, what took them so long in California? The chat say they waiting on me. We waiting on them. We waiting on them to get the party started. Let me see something. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Thank y'all for coming in, and thank y'all for hitting the like button. And my members in the chat, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. So y'all, we're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. We waiting on the court. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Shout out to Paris, Toker. Happy Tuesday. Thank you, thank you. Same to you. Hey, TalkThatLaw. Chat family. Yeah, if y'all don't mind smashing the like button. When you walk in the room, you gotta speak. And your way of speaking to me is hitting that like button while you're coming in. And if you forget to hit it coming in, don't leave the house without saying goodbye. Hit it on your way out. What's going on, y'all? Yeah, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. What's going on, Mr. Jones? And thank you again for keeping me updated and sending me that interview of Joe Tacopina. I already knew that the prosecutors was going to complain about an interview that Joe Tacopina did on yesterday. I already knew they were going to bring it up today in court. He said he dropped the elbow. The people's elbow on that like button. Thank you so much. Oh, man. So, y'all, we should be starting soon. And after we hear the verdict, maybe we can go back in and we can see the arguments from this morning so we can get to the bottom of that. Let me see something right quick. Now, see, the issue is the judge promised 90 minutes. He said when the verdict comes in, it's going to be 90 minutes from the time the jury reached a verdict. But then he shortened it. It went from 90 minutes to 60. And, you know, the public depended on what you said. You said 90 minutes, an hour and a half. So that's why I'm sure what the delay is. People are trying to get back to the courtroom. I'm sure the media is going to be surrounded. It's night in California, I presume. So they're trying to get, Rocky got to get in the courthouse. So it's a lot. It's a lot going on right now. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Toger gifted 5. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5. TalkThatLaw membership. That's really kind of you. And if y'all got a membership from Toker, if y'all don't mind saying thank you in the chat. Y'all thought I was gonna leave y'all hanging? Y'all thought I wasn't gonna come on here? We've been covering this trial day in and day out. And I wasn't gonna rush to this chair. so we can hear the verdict? Hold on right quick. What we doing? Let me see. So I'm trying to monitor social media to see if we have any updates as far as what's taking so long. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Yeah, y'all. Hey, after dark. What's up, Glenn? The truth. Thank you for popping in and checking on. What's going on, Lady VJ? Okay, Rocky just got there. Okay. And in his defense, the judge said an hour and a half. So, when you change the time on people, then you got to give them time to get there. The people want to know the next trial coverage. Put in the chat. What trial do y'all want to cover next? What trial do y'all want to cover next? That was really kind. Toker gifted 5 gold memberships. Joe stay live at 5 and again at 10. Come on. Oh man. Yeah, the chat's asking what trials coming up. Thank you, Nishi. What trials are coming up? Yeah, I saw that earlier. They were arguing about that. The prosecutor is so worried about his reputation. He's like, "Oh, my reputation! I built this reputation for 30 years, dude. If anybody been knowing you for 30 seconds, they know what type of time you on. They don't need 30 years to tear down your reputation. We see how you move. We've been watching you." Talking about his reputation looking bad. And the whole time, was it looking bad when you was doing that deposition, when you done flew over there to New York to be with that dead man's wife? Shame, shame, I know your name. It's like, we know your kind. This ain't nothing new to us. All right, y'all. So this is what I guess the question is, what is the verdict? And we can take out hung jury because that's out. What y'all think the verdict's gonna be? He said, "Don't forget to mention they had a little sleepover." They had a little sleepover. And apparently he the one that said he took his child with him to the sleepover. Y'all got going on in New York and Cali. Not Netflix and chill. Mm. Yeah, hey, don't give me the line. All this is allegedly. I'm just going by what they say. Well, somebody's saying allegedly because he said himself he was in New York, and not only that, the spouse, well, somebody else's spouse, not his, said that he was there in New York. And y'all remember the story? He prosecuted a man. The man was sent to prison. The man died in prison, and then the prosecutor went to the woman's house across the country. He flew from LA to New York to be with that man's wife who he prosecuted. Now y'all know that don't sound right. And he's worried about his reputation of being called a liar by the Ninth Circuit um, appeals court, the appellate division. He didn't like that, y'all. He did not. He felt some type of way. He's like, how they gonna call me a liar? And I've been, he should have said I've been lying for 30 years. Allegedly. Oh man. He said, Judge, if I did something wrong, tell me now. We telling you, you know he was pressed because Joe Tacopina did an interview yesterday, and he sat there and watched that whole interview so he can come back to court and complain about it. Yeah, we're waiting on the court to begin. Court, they said it was going to start 14 minutes ago. It hasn't started yet, so we're just waiting patiently. That's an interesting term, Irene. Thank you for that. They saying, you know, I asked the question of guilty, not guilty. But Miss Irene say innocent. And obviously there's a distinction between not guilty and innocent. Not guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. But you know, flat out innocence is a whole nother threshold, which may be true because I've been doing some thinking. If Rocky shot a real gun at Relli and Relli thought it was a real gun, then why did Relli go disappear for 2 hours and come back with supposed shell casings that he found? You wouldn't have to go get shell casings and stop by Dunkin' Donuts to plant shell casings. You were shot at, you heard 2 shots according to you, so the shell casings should be there. I mean, after you hear the gunshots, everybody leaves. Relli leaves, Rocky leaves, everybody leaves. So that means the shell casing should have still been there according to Relli. If he really thought he was shot and he was grazed, his fingers was grazed, why did you go get bullets unless you knew it was a fake gun? And that's why you went to go get your own shell casings. Because you knew Rocky carried a fake gun because y'all been friends for years. That's the only reason I can think of him to go maybe to a gun range he was just at a week prior and get those shell cases and bring them back to the scene. I mean, I don't understand it. Do you know? No, I do not know the status of his civil case, and I also don't know if those two attorneys are representing him. If anybody knows that in the chat, let us know. Or did they jump ship? They probably gonna jump ship tonight if they get this verdict. Somebody, you make it sound so much worse. I'll make it sound worse, so it's worse that he did. He shouldn't have did it. What I say, you shouldn't have done it. Let's talk about it. Uh, don't forget it was $1 million mansion where the sleepover took place. Come on. Chelsea say, speak for yourself. I'm waiting patiently. I don't know. I hope it's not guilty. Why did the jury deliberate so long? Well, the thing is, we gotta remember it's 12 people in that room. 12. And sometimes when you having discussions and you're going back and forth, and we also remember they took an hour and a half lunch break, it takes time. I mean, if you 12 people and divide that time up, it takes time to actually talk. I mean, we saw that in the closing arguments. It took forever. So, I mean, it's possible that that's what they were doing. They were just talking. Probably just talking about the evidence. Like, did he really want us to believe X, Y, and Z? Did he really come in this courtroom and play in our face? Nah. That's not gonna work over here. You say you don't trust nobody in LA. We're gonna give you a reason not to trust nobody in LA. Going back to New York with all that. Cause you ain't finna get no you're not finna use us to get no civil verdict. Let's see. Oh, y'all moving these comments. Yeah, y'all moving. They probably changed their phone number and website address. I heard, yeah. Good on C-Mac. 7:30 taking a long time. Relli was jealous, and it led to him trying to extort Rocky. And for full disclosure, we did reach out to Relli, and we're waiting a reply to see if he wants to speak his side, because I know the public has been saying what we've been saying. So I wanted to make sure that he had a chance to, if he wanted to, impatiently waiting, more like it. What part of North Carolina? Okay. They say Riri just arrived. Nothing about the case makes sense. Prosecutor probably crashing out. Prosecutor, y'all saw how he tried to separate himself. Y'all probably didn't see it this morning. I'll go back and play the part from this morning. But the prosecutor say, well, I just got on this case a day before the trial started, which I don't believe for a second. Don't try to say that. So if you take a loss, you don't be looking crazy. Well, I just got on this case the day before it started, so I really didn't have time to come on. Yeah, he lying. That man, you don't jump on a case a day before. Oh, let me look at the where we at. Okay, we got 9% saying guilty, 91% not guilty. And Steve, that's what I was thinking. The majority, all the polls we've been doing is not guilty. Then you may have a few that's saying guilty. But if that was the case for this jury, we'll have a hung jury. And we don't have a hung jury. So even if you had one or two holdouts, maybe at the beginning, they probably came back to the other side and said, yeah, you're right. That does make sense. You have a point. And they may have came back on over and joined the not guilties. Heather say, Chelsea say, Heather, I'm in Western. You don't want to give out your location, but you want to ask me 1,000 questions, Chelsea. You right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, now you see. No, drop the Addy. No, not really. Don't do that. Oh my goodness. So was it gave to the jury at the end of Friday and it's taken till now to get a verdict? No. They only deliberated today. The judge, they didn't deliberate on Friday. He sent them home. It was Valentine's Day. He didn't hold them. So they started today I believe around 9:30 LA time. And they went from 9:30 to lunch, and then lunch until what? Maybe 2:30 is when the 3 o'clock. When they said verdict was in 3 o'clock. Prentice said, "What makes me lean towards not guilty outside of the lack of evidence is the jury didn't have any questions and they didn't ask for any readbacks." That's true. They're like, "No, we got it, Judge. We don't need you to read back the transcript." I bet you that court reporter is tired of reading back. She don't want to read back nothing else. She said, "Huh, take the book. Just take the whole book back there." While Malcolm, of course, gonna say guilty as charged. Yeah, make sure y'all tell Toker. Thank you. I know that 5 people got gold memberships, and I don't remember saying 5 thank yous in the chats unless y'all are not here. I don't know how YouTube do it. I don't know if YouTube can award it to people that's not in the chat right now. Maybe just award it to one of the subscribers. So maybe some of the people are not on right now. But if y'all don't mind being kind enough and saying thank you, definitely appreciate it. Okay, here we go, Kevin. Guilty. Law Malcolm, you got some company. Law Malcolm, y'all got some. Hey, I want to hear from the guilties too. And if y'all don't mind me asking, so right now we're 82% not guilty, 18% guilty. If y'all don't mind me asking, what make y'all lean towards the guilties? I understand we have a lot of not guilties. I'm personally a not guilty myself, not because I know Rocky or have any allegiance or listen to his music. I can tell you a song, tell you the truth. I'm going by the evidence and the burden that the state has. The state has a burden to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to go beyond that point. And it was just so many instances of reasonable doubt to me that it just wasn't enough for me personally to overcome that burden. Guilty, they just want to be different. They just want to be pick-me's. They just want to be pick-me's, huh? Tay say free Rocky. And free the jury too. Stop the Taylor. Free the jury. No one carries a prop gun. And the video clearly shows Rocky had a gun. Okay, Kevin. So if Rocky had a gun and both sides stipulated that it will be shell casings, whether it's a real gun or a fake gun, it will be shell casings. Where are the real shell casings? Not the one that really picked up off the side of the road. Where are the real shell casings? That's my issue with that. Because by everyone's logic, the real shell casings might still be out there. I mean, 7 officers came and looked. They didn't see any shell casings in the same exact spot. I believe the defense attorneys did a good job showing that the 7 officers searched the same area that really searched, and it was no shell casings. So how all of a sudden shell casings get there, really? It's alleged he stopped at a donut shop to grab a bag, but the donut shop wasn't open. And the color of the bag he said that he got was a different color than he turned it into the police station. Somebody said it was a liquor store bag. That wasn't no donut shop bag. And also the inconsistencies. I mean, he constantly had different stories on the stand. One of the tapes, he said it was fake. Obviously, that turned out to be not true because the prosecutors even acknowledged that that was a lie. The tapes were real, in fact, real. And they were not fake. So there's, perjury under oath. The wound doesn't look like a gunshot wound to me. No burn marks. So, okay. He didn't know. He said his girlfriend went back to the scene with him to collect those bullets. Come to find out, we didn't see her nowhere on the camera. And they showed him a picture of his girlfriend, and he acted like he didn't know who she was. So it was a lot. He made his intent clear. He was out for a come up, and he wanted a bag. He even said, if I get this money, I'll disappear. I'll be on the island somewhere. He ain't worried about no trial and no police and no prosecutors. He just want the money. But on the flip side, I hear y'all. I hear y'all guilties. I hear y'all. They say Rocky had a gun. That's enough for them. Kevin say it's not a prop gun. That's enough for him. Oh, wow, Chelsea. I ain't gonna pick it. Yes, free them 12. They didn't go beyond. I was peeking on other sites, and every post shows not guilty for Rocky. For the people popping in, thank y'all for liking the video. We're waiting on the trial, the judge, all that good stuff, the jury. And keep in mind, juries do what they want to do. They do what they want to do. So they can come back and say guilty on all accounts. I don't know what type of folks they got out there in Cali, but if they've been watching the same trial I've been watching, y'all been watching, a majority of the public, like it stated here, other sites, every poll shows not guilty for Rocky. If y'all been keeping up with the public, then it should be not guilty across the board. But we about to see. We about to see. This was a circus. However, I believe it was a real gun. If not, I'm sure they would have produced it. This is what leads me to guilty. And that's the thing, as far as them producing a gun, that is a good point. They could have produced a gun, but the thing is, the burden is on the state. It's not up to Rocky to prove that, he's not guilty. It's up to the state to prove that he is in fact guilty. So him not producing a gun doesn't weigh anything to me as far as in the legal sense of a trial, because he doesn't have the burden. So I wouldn't even consider that. Me considering whether he brought a gun in or not in his defense is the equivalent, in my opinion, of me holding it against him that he didn't testify. Oh, he didn't testify. He just sat there. If he was innocent, he would have got on the stand and said he was innocent. That is shifting a burden, and that's not allowed. We can't hold it against him that he didn't testify. We can't hold it against him that he didn't produce certain evidence. And then back to my point, really quickly, if it was a real gun, where are the real shell casings? Not something that Rocky found after the scene was already searched by 7 officers. I don't want no fake casings that he came up with 2 hours later after everybody was gone. Where are the real bullets? If it was a real gun, there has to be real shell casings somewhere, because after the shooting, everybody left the scene. Rocky didn't bend down and pick up any casings, or none of the other people. Everybody dispersed. So that's my issue with that. But thank you so much for sharing your opinion, because I definitely want to hear some of the comments from the people that lean towards guilty. And you're not alone. 16% is saying guilty, and 86%, well, then switch, 15 guilty, 85 not guilty. Tatum say, I want the GPS from Relli phone. Green face, not guilty, point blank. Being a private investigator, when the jury come back, that's fast. Is not guilty. The cops didn't find anything. What's going on, Audra? We have some real grimy people in this world to think that A$AP Rocky should be found guilty. Shaking my head, just passed it. Thanks for stopping in. I had to take a break from TikTok after Nishi, and I switched my account to private. Really blew it. He blew his bag. You think so? Georgia courts, I see talk about the guys carrying prop guns all of the time. I can see someone else doing as well, even if in another state, CA gun laws are crazy anyway. I see folks ain't hitting the like button. Y'all can still hit the like button, even though my opinion is different from yours. Thank y'all in advance. He made us in clean tier. He was out for a come up. Yes, I saw it. Thank you. Thank you. His attitude was bad. He was lying all over the place. It's not gonna see Taco. Y'all moving this chat. I'm trying to catch up. He only wanted money. And then also, that's a good point that Go Roro brought up, that even if it was a real gun, now we have to consider self-defense. And that was also submitted to the jury, that if you believe it was a real gun, now you have to say whether Rocky shot that gun to stop Relli from attacking his friend being Eels. When he shot the gun, was Relli attacking Eels, and did he shoot the gun to make Relli stop? So that's another thing I noticed in the video, that when the first shot was fired, when Rocky fired towards the ground, that shot really appeared to be, fighting Eels, Rocky's friend. But the book of LB said, where is the gun? Rocky guilty even if he's not. Law Malcolm, that's what it sounded like, guilty even if he's not guilty. How can you say nobody carries a prop gun? Do you know how many black men and black boys have been killed by police for having fake guns? Come on. Yeah, one of the most cases that made national attention was a 12-year-old that had a toy gun, prop gun, and he was killed by police. Was his name was it Tamir Rice? Let me see. It's been so long. Yeah, Tamir Rice. And that might be in your hometown, Mr. Jones, right? Cleveland, Ohio, or your home state. Yeah, thank y'all in advance. What's going on, Queen T? Good to see you. Hit the like button, please. It's Black History Month. Jiggy, what's going on? That boy going home, man. What's going on, Time? Really is a liar, and I question ASAP Rocky. What kind of friends are you hanging around with? Will be my question for ASAP Rocky. With friends like Really, it's why our enemies are always so close. All white jury, we never know. I'll be seeing comments like this all the time. But y'all gotta remember, I practice law in Texas, sometimes in different counties in the South. They say the South. So, I mean, you'll be surprised. I mean, they know BS when they hear it. You ain't got to be a certain color to know if somebody trying to pull the wool over your eyes. No, dog, I wasn't trying, What's going on, Tips Take? Thanks for popping in. Oh, thank you again, Toker Bad. I'm out, daughter. Got a late appointment. All right. Thank you for popping in. Definitely appreciate you. And thank you again for gifting the 5 golden memberships. Thank you so much for that. And for being a member yourself. I hope you have a good night. What's going on? Law and Order. NYC. Kelsey say if that white jury is anything like me, Rocky is safe. What the umpire say? Safe. Rivet go roll. Rocky said hit that like button. No charge. Shout out to Rocky. Okay. So apparently Rocky has made his way into the court. Let's see. Okay, I see. But yeah, the polls are consistently saying not guilty. She said, so I assume there's a verdict. You can say not guilty party after the verdict or nah. Come on. I'm already sipping either way. Yeah. Well, and I don't think it'll be a split decision because we do know there's two counts. There's two counts. I'll be hard pressed for them to come up with a guilty and a not guilty. I mean, I'm like, what? Because there's the allegation that he put the gun up against Relli. That's one charge. And then the second charge is him actually firing what the prosecutors are alleging to be a real gun. Tells that he must be objecting to the verdict. Wow, a verdict is there. I have been working on like the chat. Shout out to Rivet Up Go Roro. I'm glad you was able to get some work done today. I already said Big Mac on me for a guilty verdict. Nah, we keeping it cool tonight. Vodka, Red Bull. LA is a different court system for a long time. Well, isn't that where OJ had his case? OJ Simpson? And that was what, about 30 years ago? Well, we got to remember Greenface. The judge was the one who said when the verdict comes back, he will give everyone an hour and a half to get to the courthouse. Then out of nowhere, it went from an hour and a half to an hour. And he was found not guilty. Yes, with a good lawyer. So are you saying that you don't believe that his lawyers were effective in this trial? Rocky's current lawyers? They said, "Yep, the next courtroom over." All right, yeah, I'm watching social media. They're saying that Rocky's mother and sister are there as well. They in the front row. He said, "I'm willing to bet if it's not guilty, Lewin is going to start an argument." Um, and sometimes the lawyers, when the trial is over, the jury may request to speak to the lawyers. They may say they don't want to speak to nobody; they just want to go home. They're sick of it. So that is a possibility, but it's just kind of hard, you know. They seen the way Lewin carried on. They seen the way his quote unquote client really carried on, and you know it's kind of hard to get the jury to like y'all when y'all acting like that. Okay, let's see. We got movement. Y'all saw the camera move, didn't y'all? It's almost 8 in Boston. Shout out to Boston. Oh, the camera's moving. Come on, Judge. Don't drag it. Don't drag it. You'll get you another TV case. Judge, I'm about to retire. What you talking about? I'm savoring this moment. I was saying that, but it's because we watched that. Can Ray be in court for? Yeah, he can be. There's nothing keeping him out the courtroom. The question is, does he want to be? It can get tense in courtrooms when you have families there, and you're gonna have media and a swarm of people outside. He better not be in that courtroom for for everybody's safety. Has on his green top for good luck and hope. Good luck and really say he want the money. That's what the green is for the money bag, the money pot. That's what the green is for him. I guess but on the flip side for Rocky is give me good money, he going home. I saw the picture move. Oh, and that's just my eyes from looking at the picture for a long time. Yeah, it did move. It went in and out. Wait a minute. Y'all saying that she's not there? Huh. Really didn't even show up for Lewin. I thought he was showing up for the verdict. Okay, they said they got extra security and stuff. That's good. Y'all think the judge is gonna be strict? As far as I would not tolerate any outbursts. Y'all think he's gonna be strict? Not strict, but sleep. All right, yeah, I'm monitoring the all right. Let me get this poll while we waiting. 84 not guilty, 16 guilty. Okay, I see y'all. So the percentages have been remaining constant across You know, a lot of different polls, a lot of different channels. I haven't seen a poll yet where the guilties outweigh the not guilties. I haven't seen a poll yet. So it's conflicting reports. I don't know if I would think that Rihanna would be there. Unless it's, I don't know. I'm assuming it's dark there, so maybe it's security at nighttime. It's hard to get her in and out safely. I'm not sure. I mean, but at the end of the day, she did her part, right? She showed up. She was there throughout the trial. She brought the children to court. So at this point, whether she's there or not, the jury already made up their mind. So there's really no need per se of her being there right now. ASAP family was there a long time ago in front of the court. ASAP family. Audrey, I remember this case from years ago. And when I read that Rocky had walked away and the dude followed behind Rocky, I knew it wouldn't go anywhere. So I'm surprised it made it this far. Shaking my head. Thank you, Audrey. This is a bit nerve wracking. I'm sure it's probably the logistics in the courtroom. We got so many people coming. People that haven't even been following this trial is probably at the courthouse right now. Everybody in LA running to the courthouse. I'm sure it's reporters everywhere in there that's trying to squeeze in at the last minute so they can, run it on their channels and stuff that what the verdict is. So I'm sure it's chaos right now in that courtroom. Oh, okay, okay. People saying they seen it. Okay, other channel. They said it's packed in there. Packed. Move over. Save me some room. I stand aside alongside the wall. I don't need a chair. I stand up. Ain't gonna take that long to hear these few words. Now the question is, if he's found guilty, will he be immediately remanded into custody? And I believe the judge said that is a possibility. If he's found guilty, they'll take him into custody tonight. Um, and sometimes that's pretty standard. They don't want you to run off or fly away. But on the flip side of that, if there's a not guilty verdict, then he gets to, walk back out the way he walked in. Yeah, I think his comments were out of line, inappropriate. And who knows? That's probably why she's not there right now. Because he sat up there and talked about her so bad.
Notified that the jury has reached verdicts on counts 1 and 2, and I believe the judicial assistant Alex has confirmed that. Yes.
We were told they had a verdict, right? That's correct.
Both sides ready for the jury? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Alternate for level 2.
All right, y'all, let's go. The moment we all been waiting for.
All right, we're on the record with all jurors present, all parties of counsel are present. Juror 9, you are the foreperson?
Yes.
And it is true that the jury has reached verdicts
Yes, Your
on
Honor.
both counts?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you have the verdict form with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, could you give those to Deputy Bennett? All right, what we're going to do, folks, is Deputy Bennett is going to give the verdict forms to juror number 1. Juror number 1, I want you to look at the verdict forms, and I'm going to want to know whether these verdict forms reflect your true and correct verdicts. Juror 2, I'd like you to look over her shoulder so you can review the verdict forms. And I want to know from you whether these are your true and correct verdicts. Once I've heard from both of you, give the verdict forms to juror number 3. Juror 3, look at the verdict forms. Juror 4, look over her shoulder. So ultimately, I'm going to want to hear from all 12 of you whether these verdict forms reflect your individual true and correct verdicts. Everybody understand? All right.
I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this. He passing the verdict around to the entire jury, the paper. I've never heard of it. Normally they will
Juror
read
number 1,
it.
are those your true and correct verdicts? Juror number 2?
Yes.
Juror 3 and 4? Juror 5 and 6? Juror 5, are those your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror 6?
Yes.
All right, let's get the verdict forms to juror 7. Juror 8, look over your shoulder. Juror number 7, those are your true and correct verdicts? Juror 7?
Yes.
Juror 8?
Yes.
9 and 10?
What? Man, read this paper.
Juror 9?
Yes.
Juror 10?
Yes.
11 and 12. Juror 11?
Yes.
Juror 12?
Yes.
All right, all jurors have stated that the verdict forms reflect their individual true and correct verdicts. Alex, read the
Yes, Your Honor. The Los Angeles Superior Court, County of Los Angeles. People of the State of California versus Rakim Mayers, case number BA 508142-01. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Rakim Mayers, not guilty of
Not against the audience. Or this is an organized audience.
Hold down, hold down. Verdict has to be run up.
Repeat again, we, the jury, involved in type of actions, find the defendant, Rakim Mayers, not guilty of semiautomatic firearm in violation of Penal Code Section 245, Section B, a felony, charging count one of the information, this 18th day of February 2025, jury seat number 9, 4%.
Right.
Title of court and cause, we, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Rakim Mayers, not guilty of the crime of firearm in violation of Penal Code Section 245, Section B, a felony, charging count two of the information, this 18th day of February 2025, juror seat number 9, 4%.
During this trial, I watched you periodically. You did what we asked of you at the very beginning, which is to give both sides a fair trial, pay attention, use your common sense, apply the law, base your verdict on the evidence. I know you took extensive notes, and you took this as seriously as any jury could. We cannot have jury trials without folks like this. So you certainly have my gratitude. I want to extend to you my best wishes. Again, thank you. The admonition to not discuss the case no longer applies. You can talk about the case with anybody you want to, or nobody if you don't want to. Alex has your certificates of completion. You can take your juror badges with you. Thank you again. You are excused.
Everybody remain seated in the public. We're gonna let the jurors walk out first.
Thank y'all for saving my life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Making the right decision. Thank you. Thank you, y'all.
All right, the jury is left. The bond is exonerated. Mr. Mayers, you're excused.
Not the salute.
Back row.
It's done. Yeah. No, just cut off the video. Off with. Shut it off.
Everybody in the back row, you need to exit.
Yeah, I guess. And there we have it. Not guilty on all counts. And it shocked me because when they read the first verdict, Rocky jumped in the crowd. And I was like, Rocky, you do know we have a few more verdicts to read. You do know that, right? Because you could be found not guilty in one and guilty in the other. So you have to wait to hear all of them. But like I said before, I don't think the jury would have split the verdicts. It goes against all logic and reasoning. So I think they got it right. And this is not because he's a celebrity. I think if it was a normal person, this would have been the correct verdict. And maybe, and I know some people are saying that the jury didn't look like Rocky, but now y'all can see that, like I've been saying all along, I've had juries that look nothing like me or sometimes my clients. Just depends on which client I'm representing that day. And they come to the right decision. So just because they're a different color, you can't always, discount them or write them off, or they're not going to do the right thing. They're going to lock up anybody of color sitting at that table. They go into prison. And obviously we saw that firsthand tonight that was not the case. And I believe that the jury got it right. Yeah, that's good. We got to see that again. How did he fly in that crowd like that? That was no, that threw me for a loop. Let's see.
Rakim Mayers, not guilty of
Not get the audience.
Yo, who was the first woman? Who was the first woman with the blonde hair who he almost ran over? I ain't seen her whole trial. Where she come
Find the
from?
defendant. Rakim
Hold on, let's
Mayers.
go to it.
Not guilty.
Oh, right there. Who is it? He flew. Y'all, I'm gonna drop the link. Anybody want to come up and give their thoughts, concerns, comments, one way or the other, whether you were team guilty or team not guilty, come up and talk to me for a little bit, so we can, do a recap. Do y'all think he got away with one, or do y'all think it was actually the true and just verdict that he deserved from the court? And obviously, I'm sure really, did not want to hear that verdict, because I'm sure his civil case would likely take a hit. True and just. Not Shaq, not Shaquille O'Neal. Greenface, they got it right, but he will pay on the civil case just like OJ did. I don't know. I don't know about that one, because like I said, really, he found it hard to be a likable person. Maybe he was just dealing with a lot of emotion at the time, but it was kind of hard for him to conduct himself civilly in a court of law. And when you got a difficult witness and then you got a difficult prosecutor, the jury has no reason to do y'all favors. They don't, in my opinion, they don't like y'all. And this is not a shot at you, really. You still welcome to come on the channel and speak your piece. I'm just saying from the public perspective. What's going on, y'all? Talk to me.
What's going on?
Hey,
I can't call it.
Lady VJ,
what's up, man?
you was pulling your hair out waiting on that verdict.
Man, I've been sitting. Well, I was laying down in the bed, just like, oh, when?
Yeah. It was the right verdict.
Of course.
The evidence, there was no evidence to prove otherwise.
Mm-mm. No, and then all of that arguing they just did a few minutes ago, well, maybe about an hour ago,
Right.
about the altering of the videos. And what was the purpose? Because it's pointless. And I hope they don't do any appealing, because that's going to be ridiculous.
Who?
No, the
Weren't they
state.
talking about appeals?
Nah. For who? What you mean?
No, I don't think the state can appeal the actual conviction, but they can file some stuff against Tacopina if they want to. But Tacopina can file some stuff against them. Somebody asked in another chat today if Rocky could sue the court, and if he can go after the court in the Relli and the prosecution. And I told him he can't go after the court. There's nothing he can do with the court. He can file a malicious prosecution and other things against the prosecution, and he can filing false reports and other things against Relli if he chooses to do that.
Right. But I doubt that's going to go anywhere. The allegation was made. The police took it to trial. The prosecutors took it to trial and they lost. So I don't think it'll be nothing to that level where it's malicious prosecution. Sometimes you got to work with the evidence that someone gives you. And it was enough to go to a trial. I mean, you hear gunshots. There's alleged shell casings. You see a gun. Whether it's real or fake on a camera screen, okay, that's enough to put in front of the jury to test the credibility of the evidence. Now, that don't mean the evidence was what it purported to be, but it still was enough to at least put it in front of a jury. So I don't think malicious prosecution will fall in place for this type of case. But I know he happy. He clearly happy. He jumped in like he was on a concert. They jumped in the crowd.
Hey, but you got to understand, man. When your life on the line, you got a family, an infant and two infants, or an infant and a toddler, and you facing all that on some BS. And only reason I'm saying BS is because what we seen with the evidence. That's the only reason I'm saying BS. And I think we all know it was BS. I think even some of the people who was voting guilty know it was BS. But maybe not. But you have to think, man, when you face with all that, people who've never been in that position don't know. He did jump early though. I will say
He
that.
jumped early. Hey, you almost got an offsides on the play. But I'm sure his lawyers prepared him that it was likely not going to be a split decision.
Yeah.
If you hear not guilty, it's going to be just that. And even though his lawyers believed he was not guilty, he was there. He knew whether the gun was real or fake. He believed he was not guilty, but
Right.
it's still a suspense. I mean, because you still just never really know.
Yeah, no, it is. It's nerve wracking.
Right.
I mean,
And we watch it on the screen. Imagine sitting at that table. It's like this, times 10. Yeah. So I know why his lawyer rocking side to side. I mean, when you gave it your all, you threw everything on the table. Now you're waiting for a verdict, and your client's life is literally hanging in the balance. So that's enough for anybody to have a little nerves.
right. Yeah. I mean, I'm quite sure the lawyers was just as nervous. Their heart was beating just as fast as Rocky's.
Right.
I mean, because when you give your all, your blood, sweat, and tears, and in your mind, you're saying there's no evidence, there's no way he should be found guilty of this. But like you say, the element of not knowing, that element, that's serious.
Oh, wait, is that Rihanna? He's hugging her like that?
Is
Yeah,
that
that's
Rihanna?
her.
Oh,
That's her.
So he jumped in Rihanna's lap. Hold on.
That was that's Rihanna.
She
Okay.
Because that's her
she
hairstyle right now.
So that's
Yeah.
Rihanna, his mom and sister, probably all of them together.
Yeah, together.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They said they said his mom and sister were sitting in the first row, so they all sitting there together.
Yeah.
Nah,
Now,
that's
didn't the judge say
yeah.
they don't care about this judge. It doesn't matter what this judge says at all.
What you mean?
I mean, obviously.
Which part?
I mean, he did a whole crowd surf.
I mean, nah.
Rocky?
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
he
The judge.
he got found not guilty. I mean, that wasn't
Right.
no outburst.
I don't
That
think-
wasn't an outburst.
I don't think so neither. I don't think it was disrespect to the court. I mean, it'd be crazy for him to be found not guilty and a judge lock him up for contempt for being excited of being found not guilty. So I don't
Right.
think that'll happen. And even families, sometimes
Mhm.
families have emotion. They may have on the opposite side, a victim family member may yell out or scream. The judge is not going to lock somebody up when they're a victim or they lost their son, they lost their daughter, and they have an outburst. But a lot of times they do give those warnings, but sometimes stuff just happens.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you know what? I'm sitting here looking. That was a big deal to him. His lawyers was crying.
Yeah.
But when you face like her right there with the black hair, you seen her. But that's a big deal. When we know even if it was found guilty, he might not have got 24 years, but it was a possibility he could have got 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that is with a 1-year-old about to be 2 and a 2-year-old about to be 3? You get 24 years of your life taken. Your kids are grown.
Right.
You miss a whole life.
Right.
So that is an emotional thing, and I know that's probably why the judge really didn't. He knew, but I think the judge, because remember what he said to the jury when he said you can't weigh what I might think. He knew, the judge knew, He said that when he was giving them the final instructions. You know, they can't use to think what he might think or what he said. None of that. You know, and he was talking about, especially like when Relli was on the stand and he had to keep admonishing him, and then he had to admonish Lewin, you know, yeah, so yeah, nah, he had to put his arms around both his lawyers because he was finna pass out.
It kind of looked like he was. It looked like he was about to.
Yeah.
But I'm glad because this whole case was just dumb.
Yeah,
The way
it was. I
I
mean,
mean,
it was
it's really just petty. It was
it
just
was
petty.
it was about money. We know, you know, and the thing about it, Rocky just happened to be one of those that got the money to defend himself. If it was somebody else who didn't have that money and they would have brought the case, they might have been
Mhm.
found guilty with that same evidence, you know. But when you got the money, you know, it helps you. But even without the money, there was no evidence to convict. I don't care who it is. And like me, I don't know ASAP Rocky's music, so I didn't have it wasn't a thing like I'm a fanboy. I'm not a fan of nobody. You know, I'm a
Right.
man.
They trying to
You
make
know,
it. Oh, y'all groupies. Y'all gonna
yeah,
go with him. No, y'all don't know.
yeah. I
Could
Yeah.
went with him.
the trial.
I went with him
Mhm.
because what the evidence showed.
Mm-hmm.
What the evidence showed. And I think a big thing, everybody keep talking about what really did, but I think a big thing was in Taco's closing. When he showed the picture with Rocky had the gun behind his back and he blew it up. And he showed him the pistol, the prop, it was exactly how Lou and 12E described. You
Describe
can
it. Yeah.
he pointed out the belt clip on the gun, and he pointed out the plastic clip that they had. They went and got. They modified it, and he showed the clip. This is a fake gun, and you still can't. They keep saying, "Well, where are the prop gun shell casings?" Well, that's y'all job to find that stuff. You
Yeah, they
know,
did a horrible job. I
yeah.
mean, it
The
wasn't no
police
shell
didn't do a
casing.
horrible job. The police didn't do a horrible job, and here's why.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The police they did their search, but
They
whoever
did.
the lead, I mean, that whole casing situation, um, it's just I don't know. I
It,
don't have any words. I just feel like um he just made up a story. I mean, I feel like he Relly's story as far as the casings, he um he went in and brought those casings from somewhere else. But like the police, they were out there, they searched all around and they didn't find anything. And then you're still arguing.
yeah,
I mean, they say seven was out there, seven
but
of
at this
them.
point, yeah, seven. Yeah, he counted 7 police. 6 was out there, and then you had the one with the body cam. But what people gotta realize is all the police and detectives do is what they do. They came out, they saw no signs of a shooting. Period.
Right,
No bullet case,
exactly.
no shell casings. Now,
Mhm.
also, really, I believe when they said Relly never went back out there to that crime scene with no. He had those shell casings already.
Right.
You know, he didn't go back out there. That's why they changed the story because at first he was saying that was him, and then even the prosecutor impeached him and said in that white he said, "Yeah, I must have changed clothes." Then they got him to switch it, and then they said at 11:09 he was back out there, and they found the cases within 2-3 minutes. Him and his girlfriend. Well, then after that, they say, "Oh, that's not what happened." They said the footage, the surveillance stopped at 11:20, which means they couldn't record beyond that. So then they came up with the story 11:45, which is not true because that's the time of the pictures. If that's the case, why did they not present those pictures with those timestamps? And that's what Taco asked them. Where are the pictures? You know, they didn't produce no evidence.
Well, I wonder what Lululemon was talking about when he said, "One more thing out of him, Judge. One more thing, and I'm gonna air out everything in this case." I
Right.
wonder what that was about.
Yeah, I guess he was accusing Taco of the defense of withholding evidence, some misconduct is what he is accusing him of, because he said it was 25 incident. And I'm like, how you gonna say that? You know?
Yeah.
And he's just a crybaby. I mean,
Oh,
all the way down to today. You still sitting there whining, and we're still talking about the Ninth Circuit and ethics and all these things.
Right.
I mean, and for what? Let's just get the verdict, sir. It's not going to change. Whatever you're saying, it's not going to change.
that's
Yeah.
he said what
Well, did this verdict ruin his 30-year reputation? Did this verdict ruin his 30-year reputation that he was whining all about?
Wait a
You know
minute.
what?
No, where did he just go? Do not go over there messing with the family. They do not like. Look at him. Look which way he gonna walk. He gonna
I
go over
hope
there and
not.
say, he gonna go over there and say, it's nothing personal, guys. Look. Going over there with Rihanna and Rocky's family.
Again, nothing personal.
Right. Hey,
Mhm.
Lawmaster, find me another rapper's case. He said that's all we cover, rapper cases. Find me another one. Melly's gonna be a while, so we need somebody
Yeah,
else in the meantime.
yeah.
Yeah.
Melly gonna be a minute,
No,
Yeah.
but
but yeah,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go, guys. I gotta
okay.
go be a mom.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Have a
I'm
good
glad
one.
I'm glad you were able to see this through to the end with us. Because it needed
Yeah.
help throughout the trial and coming on. So thank you so much for that.
All right. Y'all have a
All
good
right.
night.
All right, take
All
care.
right.
All right.
Take care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That I think they did that on purpose. All the suspense, the build up, because it's a high profile celebrity case. You
Right.
know, they just read that verdict about 20 minutes ago. And they were supposed to read at 4 o'clock. You
I, let me share. So someone I believe is Nick at Night.
Neek at Night.
What's it called?
Neek at Night.
Nick at Night.
N-I-
Okay.
Nique.
Yeah, Nick at Night.
Yeah.
So apparently she had a chance to interview a juror, and that juror said that they all thought it was a real gun. That's interesting to me. They all thought it was a real gun, but based on the jury instruction, they don't think it was enough evidence to convict. I want to share a part of that might as well, since we're here now. I think it was just a few minutes. Let me see if I can do it like this, if it lets me share it.
Yeah. I mean, you can think it's a real gun, but if the prosecution don't prove it with the evidence, you can't convict.
Let me see if it's gonna let me. Hold on. Yeah, just give me 1 second. Let me share this. It's not, you know how I get the acting sometimes. Okay, there we go. Wait, where'd it go? Come over here. All right, there we go.
Just delivered a not guilty verdict. So if you could tell us, what was the atmosphere inside the jury room?
You know what? Everybody was really focused on delivering justice. I think that we really took our time. We discussed all the issues, all the questions that we had. We clarified those. We really kind of looked over some pieces of the evidence that people wanted to see a little bit more closely. And I think that we did the best we could with the instructions that we had and with the evidence that we had.
Okay, so what was the initial, when everybody went in and they were like guilty, not guilty, what was the initial atmosphere?
We kind of did a preliminary poll kind of to see, where everybody was at as far as their views. And initially everybody thought, I think we kind of like were at almost at the verdict, but then we had a couple of people, including myself, who were, still had some questions. And we were all thinking that crime had been committed. And but the thing is, with the instructions we had and with the law, that we didn't think that was enough evidence to convict.
Okay, so you guys felt like it was not a prop gun.
I think most of us felt it was real. I think most of us felt it was a gun. And just from behavior on the videos and from some of the testimony, unfortunately, a lot of the witnesses we didn't consider all of their testimony to be reliable. Some of them were, not very, we didn't feel were reliable. But,
can you guys hear her? Is the sound good? This is an exclusive right now with one of the jurors. She just deliberated in the ASAP Rocky case. I want to make sure that you guys can hear her. Okay, so go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but the feeling was that there was a gun. That unfortunately they didn't have enough evidence to convict on the charges that were handed down to us.
Okay, so when you heard the idea,
Wait. Did she just say unfortunately? Hold on, let's go back.
The feeling was there was a gun. That unfortunately they didn't have enough evidence to convict on the charges that were handed down to us.
Okay, so when you heard the idea of the prop gun, just you personally, what'd you think about that?
I didn't really believe it. I didn't think that either, that they had really convincing evidence that it was a prop gun. It was kind of a little mysterious the way it disappeared, and they couldn't produce it, as evidence. So some of the testimony did not sound accurate or truthful. But, we just try to stick to what was presented and stick to the instructions that we were given, and that's how we reached our verdict.
What did you think about the testimony of Relli?
Relli, I believe that he felt his life was in danger. I do. I feel for all of them, all the people involved with this. I feel like this could have been avoided. I hope that in the future, Mr. Mayers really thinks his actions, about his actions before, he is upset with somebody. He does have a lot to lose, and he's lucky at this point that we didn't have enough evidence to hand down a conviction.
Because it sounds like you guys were close.
Like I said,
it sounds like she was close.
Right.
It sounded like she was a holdout juror that they had to pull to the other side, because
Right.
it don't sound like she's 100% confident in what she's saying right now as far as him going on. She said, unfortunately, we didn't have enough to convict. He's lucky. Like what?
Lucky at this point that he does have a lot to lose, and he's lucky at this point that we didn't have enough evidence to hand down a conviction.
Because it sounds like you guys were close.
Like I said, it was not really. It took a long time to convince a couple of people, and. Too, like I said, we all felt like there was a crime committed, but were to try to get, a just verdict.
Did Rihanna have any influence? Like, did she come up?
Not at all.
No.
I mean,
That's her phone. She may be getting called.
we all have families. We all hope for the best for our families. It was, I really felt like people were not biased. I really felt like we just stuck to the evidence and the instructions.
Yeah. Do you guys have any quick questions before? I don't want to hold her up too long. Do you guys have any quick questions?
No.
And for the
what did you think of Lewin?
I think he did a fantastic job. I think they both did. But I don't want.
You don't want to speak for somebody else?
To seem as if this was for, we did not convict or we handed down not a guilty verdict because of celebrity or anything like that. We just did what we had to do. I'll put all that aside. Really, nobody was considering it. And I think that Mr. Lewin, he did a bang up job. But we felt like there were some key pieces of evidence that were missing or that we would like
All
to
right,
have.
hold on 1 second. Is it freezing? Because if not, if it's freezing, I'm gonna just end it and just finish like the last part. You said it's
Okay. You heard what she said? She said Lewin did a bang up job.
Yeah, listen. She said something else that convinced me. Most of the jury was leaning towards not guilty already.
Yeah, it was her.
Because she said there was a couple that had to be convinced, wanted to see some more.
Include me. She said include me.
Right. But so when you say that and you come back with a not guilty verdict, that means the majority was already leaning towards not guilty. She was one of the holdouts.
And they were swarming her. They were swarming her. And I
You
think
know,
I emailed you earlier that based on the timing, we may have 1 or 2 holdouts.
yeah,
And,
no, you did. Yep, you did say that.
and then we see. And I remember this story. I think I told y'all before, I was walking to my car after a trial with my client and my team. And the jury was in the hallway. I talked to a few of them. And then one older guy was walking with me. He started walking with us outside. And come to find out, based on our conversation, he was the holdout. He did not want to vote not guilty. He was the only one. And the jury was asking a lot of questions. I'm like, why are they asking these questions? I already went over this 1,000 times and opening and evidence and closing. And they were asking the question because they wanted to prove to him that this is the law. And he finally said not guilty. So yeah, sometimes it takes work to get that other person. But it sounds like she did not want that man to go home.
Yeah, and she can't speak for everybody else. And this is what I think, because hey, the verdict just came in. You just walked out the courtroom. You already given a interview, because now they know, because it's a high profile case. It's gonna be storied. They're gonna get interviews. They're gonna start getting paid for them. The ones that's willing to do the interviews, and they're gonna make money. So it's a money grab for all of them. Everybody involved. You know.
Hold on, y'all. Let's see if we can get Takapina. His let's say his interview right now. Let's see if we can find him. But I know, hopefully he drag him, because you know that he really don't like the prosecutor. Let's see what he got to say. See if we hit that button, hit that one. Let's go.
Basically, 4-week trial. When I heard it was for that, felt pretty good. Not so overly confident, because you just never know, but I felt pretty good.
You talked about.
I'm not leaving. I'll answer everyone's questions, so don't worry. Yeah.
You talked about Ryan's raw
Yeah, that was crazy.
To hug his family. He was not the only one that had a thunderous reaction. Talk about
Hold up, y'all. Y'all heard what he said? He said, "Yeah, that was crazy." His client jumped over
your client's raw emotion. We saw it. You dove into to hug his family. He was not the only one that had a thunderous reaction. Talk about the reaction that we've seen from the public, supporters of his.
Yeah, look, I've been here for over a month, and we walk around me. I'm not him, right? People were just wishing me luck for him. I mean, he's loved, very well loved in the city, and I think, he's got a lot of fans. And that doesn't happen because he's a singer. It happens because who he is as a person. A lot of what the jury didn't hear was who A AP really is, who A AP Rocky is as a person. He does incredible charity work. He gives back to the community. He's become a dear friend of mine, more than a client. And that's why cases like this are really difficult for me, because there's so much on the line. I mean, I care about every client I represent to the point where they become family. This was at a different level, and so I was just not prepared for. I would not accept any other verdict.
Why was this one so different? You care about every client, but they were like family. What was so special about it?
He and I bonded over the last 3 years in a way that, and he's just a different person. I attribute that to him, the way he conducts himself, the way he's so appreciative of us, the way he is with his. I mean, I spent time with him and Rihanna at their house, and they're just, it's humble, and to me, people with that level of success, they are really sweet, good people. And jury. We had a great jury.
Speaking of family, do you think the jury seeing ASAP with Rihanna as a family man and their children helped his defense?
No, I don't think that helped his defense. Look, everyone knows he had Rihanna. Everyone knows he has 2 kids. Sorry. I mean, I don't think the jury's like, all right, we think he's guilty, but look at the kids. I mean, so I'm glad the prosecution focused on that in their estimation. We did. The evidence in this case was deficient. I think that they need to be going after Terell Ephron. As I've always said, he was an extortionist. He was someone who showed committed extortion. The tape that one of you all said was really good for the prosecution that we brought in turned out not to be so good for the prosecution. It was him repeating the same story that he repeated from day one. But what it had on there was, 1, him committing perjury to the jury, and 2, him acknowledging he wanted $30 million that he disappeared to an island. That's called extortion. For what? To get his $697 he has in his bank account? Even though, if you look on Instagram, he's a billionaire. I'm not suing Relli. I have other things in life to do. He sued us. And after today, I don't think that's going so well. So, but anyway, look, I'm just happy the jury came to the right conclusion swiftly.
Hey,
Yes.
Joe, speaking of evidence or lack of evidence, the fact that a gun was not presented in court to the jurors, did that make a difference in this verdict?
Who knows what made it? I mean, that jury, they were able to speak to you guys if they want to. I don't know if they're going to. Both ways the gun was presented, right? Our gun, the gun that Rocky actually had, the prop, or the gun that the prosecution said he had wasn't produced. So I think it's a wash, so to speak. I think the jurors had to go on the evidence that they had, right? They can't speculate. They had evidence in this case. Most of the incriminating evidence came from the words of someone who's, as I said, whose tongue is a stranger to the truth. As an admitted perjurer, admitted liar. So I just don't think any jury could embrace that. And if you can't believe Terell Ephron in this case, you can't convict. That's simple.
You can't trust the messenger. You gotta ignore the whole message. Period.
But if the messenger of the fake, you must quit.
That's
Did
it.
that happen in this court or something like that?
Absolutely.
Joe, how did you keep Rocky at ease throughout this case?
How did I keep at ease?
Yeah.
He fed off my confidence, honestly. He fed off my confidence. We talked every night. Obviously, he was heavily involved in his defense. But he would follow my lead. And if I told him things were going well, obviously he didn't know this procedure, this process. But I told him things were going well, they went well. So, he was really good. He's a smart guy. There's only missteps that time he started out in the courtroom about, his personal company, which is so irrelevant. It was so irrelevant to the case. Obviously he was being defamed. People would use derogatory statements towards him. Relli called him every name in the book. Homophobic names, all these things. And Rocky didn't move a muscle. But when something personal to him was being asked about, which is irrelevant to the case, what his company was called, what the acronym. Well, it's an acronym for his company that had to do with his family. I'm going to leave it at that, right? And he was hesitant. So he didn't want that revealed nationally, publicly. It's like a private thing, the way someone doesn't want that phone number revealed. So after the witness had already answered, he said, "Don't say," which caused me to heel kick him in the ankle. So the second time we heard from Rocky was a yell. So it was, "Don't say ow," but the ow was from me. Don't say it was from him. But it was irrelevant to this case. But again, the prosecution focused on that. They focused on Rihanna and the kids. They focused on a lemon. They focused on a dog. They focused on a donut. We focused our summation on the facts. And, I guess the jury's went our way. Yeah, I think that was a great bonding experience for them personally. I mean, I've known them for a while. Rihanna is an amazing woman, strong woman. And she obviously was there to support him. She'd always been in touch with me throughout the process to make sure things were going well and privately wanted reassurance. But she was here. Wild Horse, Rocky did not want her here. I will tell you that. I think I said it to you in the beginning. He did not want her here. He wanted to shield her from this. So Wild Horse was going to keep her away. So, you go through something like this as a family, it brings you closer. It's a bonding experience. And they're just two special people. So I can't imagine this has been anything but a life-altering experience.
How does it feel to get a public win after Donald Trump fired you?
Wait. They said, how does it feel to get a win after Donald Trump fired you? Leave it to a reporter.
can't imagine this has been anything but a life-altering experience.
How does it feel to get a public win after Donald Trump fired you?
So, do you know your facts?
Well, I'm asking you.
No, he didn't fire me. I resigned from the case.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Before he fired you? Okay.
He didn't fire me.
You're not here for that.
I'm not here for that. I was invited for the Deliberation also, but I don't know what you're talking about. But so I'm not going to answer questions about other cases in my career. But that's a good question. You must be a good journalist.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, clearly they weren't receptive to his message, right? Clearly they weren't receptive to his message and his tactics. I mean, he treated 2 witnesses who came in here respecting the process, the court, or compliant witnesses, and he yelled at them for 2 hours. I had a witness abusing me, cursing at me, flexing, cursing, throwing water bottles. I didn't lose like that. I don't think that's good for a jury. I don't think the jury wants to see a lawyer out of control. So,
Too late.
Based on the verdict, I can only say clearly that those tactics didn't work, right? The yelling, the screaming, the constant objecting. A jury doesn't want to be kept away from the facts. And I think they want to know that the facts are, being brought to them. They won't want to be hidden from facts. So when you constantly object as a lawyer and the jury feels like you're trying to hide something from them, I think they don't like that. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Lewis's conduct had anything to do with it. I think the facts really governed the day and carried this verdict. So I really do. More so than any lawyer's conduct. Anyone else? You good? I want to not answer anyone's questions.
You good, bro.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, did somebody just call him ASAP Telly? No.
Thank you. Good guys. Yeah, I'm right. I think it's prosecuted. I mean, the person himself doesn't time for the story for the crime. There's now evidence that he committed extortion on the record. Let's see if the DA really wants to go after a criminal. I mean, they spent all this time, all this money pursuing Rakim, someone who was acquitted and vindicated. Hopefully, they'll go pursue a real criminal, and they have the evidence to do it. It's on the record, so he should prosecute. I hope he does. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Amen. I guess you will be amen. How does it feel to get a win after Donald Trump fired you?
Yeah, that was a troll out there. I mean, you asking about Donald Trump? This man just got his client off, who's not Donald Trump.
Oh man.
Hell, Donald Trump fire everybody.
No hesitation. No hesitation.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, but why they sit there and do Joe like that? Don't.
What's that?
Yell that out to that man in the middle of his raining on his parade.
Yeah, but you heard what he said. He said, he didn't fire me. I resigned.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, don't nobody really want to represent Donald Trump. They just do it for the money. You know? He ain't the first lawyer that done left Donald Trump.
Prince, let's be for real. Even you could have got a Rocky and Dub in this case.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the one who said
I believe so.
He's the one who said to Asa he should testify or not. Yeah, that would have been about it.
Listen, I would have pointed some things out that I feel Taco and his defense team should have, but they didn't. You know, and then like that juror, she was just saying something about she didn't believe nobody. They didn't. But did you hear at first? she's like, she kind of felt like Relli was honest. Like he was telling, hey, where was he honest at?
She was giving 409 vibes.
Yep.
From the YSL where she voted the way the majority wanted to go, but it appears that it wasn't her cup of tea. I mean, she's saying that he got lucky. She think that Lewin did a good job. Yeah, she liked the prosecutors. I mean, she giving me signs of that jury from YSL. The ones from YSL, the alternate 409, they like the prosecutors. They didn't like the defense. They think they were guilty. But she was just outnumbered. So it was either we gonna sit here for the next couple of days, or you gonna come our way, because we're not gonna go your way.
Right. Yeah, she kind of threw me. I mean, if they would have said guilty, I would have said the same thing I'm saying now. The evidence didn't show it, but you got to respect their decision. But her interview right there shows you just how corrupt, and even though they found him not guilty, it shows you just how corrupt the American justice system is when it comes to black defendants, criminal defendants. You know, but she was in the minority. When she kept saying there was a couple people that were holdout, it was her and probably one other person. Because for them to come out back with a not guilty verdict, like I said earlier, the majority had to been leaning towards not guilty from the beginning. Because everybody's not going to say, oh, guilty, but you got a couple that convinced 8, 9, 10 other people not guilty. No, it was 8, 9, or 10 people that they had to convince a couple people with the evidence. And then she kept saying with the instructions we were given. No, you were given the law.
Yeah.
You know, that's the law. You can't say, well, with the way the instructions were presented, the instructions were given in accordance with the law. So you got to follow the law, you know.
I want to hear from Lewin. Lewin, we want to hear you sing your last song, cry your last your last tear. We want to hear it.
Oh yeah, Lewin.
The way you showed out in the courtroom.
Yeah, I don't think if I was a jury that I'd have walked right out the courtroom and gave an interview that right then. You know.
I mean, she ain't got no dog in the fight. It ain't like she gonna go on make rounds making money off of it because she don't like the outcome.
Well, I mean that'll be a reason why she would get money.
I mean, we can watch it one more time, but her whole attitude just appeared like she was not okay with him going home.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. From the
something was off.
Yeah,
something was off with her statements. She was like, a lot of them needed to be convinced. Ain't nobody needed to be convinced but you. And now
She said a couple. She said a couple of us had to be a couple. She said a couple had to be convinced. She was one of the couple that had to be convinced.
I think she said herself as well. I'm gonna go back and play it, but I'm even skeptical of that now. I don't even think that might be true.
Right.
She might think people in the room was agreeing with her when they was not. She might be the one that's saying it's a real gun. Let's listen to it one more time to read her body language. Now that we know where she's standing.
They just delivered a not guilty verdict. So if you could tell us, what was the atmosphere inside the jury room?
You know what? Everybody was really focused on delivering justice. I think that we really took our time. We discussed all the issues, all the questions that we had. We clarified those. We really kind of looked over some pieces of the evidence that people wanted to see a little bit more closely. And I think that we did the best we could with the instructions that we had and with the evidence that we had.
Okay, so what was the initial, when everybody went in and they were like guilty, not guilty, what was the initial atmosphere?
We kind of did a preliminary poll kind of to see, where everybody was at as far as their views. And initially everybody thought, I think we kind of were at almost at the verdict, but then we had a couple of people, including myself, who
A couple of people, include myself. Yeah. Yeah.
And initially everybody thought, I think we kind of were at almost at the verdict, but then we had a couple of people, including myself, who were, still had some questions. And we were all thinking that crime had been committed. And but the thing is, with the instructions we had and with the law, that we didn't think that was enough evidence to convey.
Okay, so you guys felt like it was not a prop gun.
I think most of us felt it was real. I think most of us felt it was a gun, and just from the behavior on the videos and from some of the testimony. Unfortunately, a lot of the witnesses we didn't consider all of their testimony to be reliable. Some of them were, not very, we didn't feel were reliable, but,
can you guys hear her? Is the sound good? This is an exclusive right now with one of the jurors. She just deliberated in the ASAP Rocky case. I want to make sure that you guys can hear her. Okay, so go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but the feeling was that there was a gun, that unfortunately they didn't have enough evidence to convict on the charges that were handed down to us.
Okay, so when you heard the idea,
I heard what she said. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough to convict on the charges that were handed down to us.
Can hear her. Okay, so go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but the feeling was that there was a gun, that unfortunately they didn't have enough evidence to convict on the charges that were handed down to us.
Okay, so when you heard the idea of the prop gun, just you personally, what'd you think about that?
I didn't really believe it. I didn't think that either, that they had really convincing evidence that it was a prop gun. It was kind of a little mysterious the way it was prepared. And they couldn't produce it, as evidence. So some of the testimony did not sound accurate or truthful. But, we just try to stick to what was presented and stick to the instructions that we were given, and that's how we reached our verdict.
What did you think about the testimony of Relli?
Relli, I believe that he felt his life was in danger. I do. I feel.
See, and that gets me right there. She, the prop gunner, she said she don't believe the testimony was truthful. So I'm guessing she's questioning the credibility of 12 and things like that, and Louis, ASAP Louis. But really, she believes his testimony was truthful. What?
What did you think about the testimony of Relli?
Relli, I believe that he felt his life was in danger. I do. I feel for all of them, all the people involved with this. I feel like this could have been avoided. I hope that in the future, Mr. Mayers really thinks his actions, about his actions before, he is upset with somebody. He does have a lot to lose, and he's lucky at this point that we didn't have enough evidence to hand down a conviction.
Because it sounds like you guys were close.
Like I said, it was not really. It took a long time to convince, a couple of people, and too. Like I said, we all felt like there was a crime committed, but were to try to get,
I don't know if that's true. We all feel like a crime was committed. Then y'all would have all been leaning towards guilty if that's the case.
Right.
Too. Like I said, we all felt like there was a crime committed, but were to try to get, a just verdict.
Did Rihanna have any influence? Like, did she come up?
Not at all.
No.
I mean, we all have families. We all hope for the best for our families. It was, I really felt like people were not biased. I really felt like we just stuck to the evidence and the instructions.
Yeah. Do you guys have any quick questions before? I don't want to hold her up too long. Do you guys have any quick questions?
She ain't saying nothing, no how. Oh, we can finish it.
And for the
what did you think of Lewin?
I think he did a fantastic job. I think they both did. But I don't want to seem as if this was for, you know, we did not convict or we handed down not a guilty verdict because of celebrity or anything like that. You know, we just did what we had to do. I'll put all that aside. Really, nobody was considering it. And I think that Mr. Lewin, he did a bang-up job. But we felt like there were some key pieces of evidence that were missing or that we would like
All right, hold on 1 second. Is it freezing?
What?
Nikki Knight need to get it together, man. Her you know, she need a real camera.
Yeah, it seems as if she's on her phone and people may have been calling her. So now it's messing up her phone. She should have put it on Do Not Disturb. But thank you, you know, for allowing us to use this video. Obviously, we're using it through the Fair Use Act, but it was good. You know, that she got a chance to talk to a juror, but this juror here is something else.
Yeah, and that's what she kept saying. A couple of jurors, and at one point she did say including me, but the majority of that jury was leaning toward not guilty, because you're not going to have the majority of the jury leaning towards guilty, but just a couple people can convince the majority of the rest of the jury to say not guilty.
Yeah, go all the way to not guilty, and they
Yeah.
in the majority.
Yeah,
I can see if it was like days and days, and you're getting tired, and you just say, you know what, I'm sick of it, I'm ready to go home. But after just one day, nah.
Right. Like that you know, it's tricky because sometimes a jury come back real quick and you think, uh-oh, it's guilty, and it'll be not guilty. Sometimes they take a long time and you be like, oh, guilty, and it'd be not guilty. This was a quick jury. Listen, and what people got to understand, they didn't just walk in there at 9:30 and start deliberating. They had to choose a foreman. They had to do other stuff. They probably didn't start actually deliberating for about 45 minutes to an hour after they got in the deliberation room.
Let me see. I don't know. Do anybody know if Rocky ever spoke, or was it just his attorney that spoke?
Probably just his attorney.
Yeah, someone said. I think Tia had said. I thought I saw Tia coming that said that Rocky spoke. Maybe it was just his attorney. Y'all let me know if he spoke. We'll go find that and play that. Who was it? Oh yeah, it was funny. She said he did a bang-up job, and Lady PJ said he did some banging. All right. Listen, I know you ain't talking about no New York lights, camera, action, Lady VJ. Okay, everybody said he spoke. He said, "Thank God." He spoke when they first came out, but he wasn't at the mic. Okay, let's go. And he was saying like, "Thank God," even before he went outside.
Yeah, no, in the courtroom, you can hear him. He thanked the jury. If you go back, once they read it, he said, "Thank you to the jury." He said, "Thank you, Your Honor."
Yeah, he was thanking the judge as well. And you know, that's kind of let me see. See, the thing is, they didn't have a camera on when he first came out.
Right.
So I'm gonna see if let me see if we can hear anything when they walk out.
Maybe you can take it on Law and Crime or Court TV. Maybe they got him. Because you know cameras was all on him when he came up out that courtroom.
Okay, yeah, I don't see it on that stream. Oh, let me do this real quick. Oh, where you go? Okay, there you go. I was like, where you go? Rocky spoke first. I don't see. Where did he speak at? Where did he speak? Y'all know what? Tia, you know where he spoke?
Tia must be out there in LA. She got all the she know it all.
Look, I ain't too much finna get past T. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, she's a journalist for real.
What's going on, Paris? I see you decide to stay up to see this verdict. Thank you for popping in and for being a member. Oh man, it was a lot. It was a lot of time that was spent on this case, but we here now. But yeah. I agree that now that Rocky, he's good. Stay out the way now. Stay out the way. Everybody get an instance or two in life. Some just gonna happen. People gonna come at you. But we had one in Sweden. You were in jail down there for 30 days. I believe he was found guilty there of assault. And now, we had a trial in America. Hey, that's it. You older now. You got a whole family at the house.
Right.
So you that's it. Keep your security. Y'all got plenty enough money. Look at me count somebody's pocket to have security. So we had that security 24/7. Oh yeah, There you go. He just said it. Better have your security with you at all times.
No, that's real talk, Leroy, Bruce Leroy. That's real talk. Because you see these young black entertainers, they come from nothing and overnight they become multi-millionaires. You're gonna have everybody thinking you owe them something. And when you're not taking care of everybody, what happens is jealousy and envy sets in. So now you got people trying to set you up.
Right.
And I don't believe her when she said, I don't know how she worded it, but when she was like making it seem like everybody believed it was a real gun. I don't believe that. I think that was just her, maybe a couple other people. But the majority, and even if they thought it was a real gun, I believe they thought it was self-defense. If they come back and say, if they thought it was a real gun, then the only other logic is self-defense.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking. I think her resuscitation is kind of crazy because she's saying everybody think a crime was committed. Why y'all didn't vote guilty? Why y'all voted not guilty? So I'm sure another juror would speak out, and they probably gonna say she was the oddball in the room. That's why we were there all day, playing it with her, waiting on her.
Right.
So I pulled up a video. It looked like complete chaos. And I'm thinking it was dark in LA, but LA is behind us, not ahead of us. They're on the west, so
right.
The sun sets in the west, so they still had some daylight. But it was complete chaos when he was trying to get out there. But we could try to see if we can hear something coming from him.
Yo, give him respect. Back up, guys. Hey, down.
Blessed to be here right now. Be a free man talking to God. Thank you. All praise to God.
What kept you passing out? Guys, look, guys. Guys, we can't do this. We'll just have to leave. But listen, yo, Rocky, you free, buddy. Relax. Water on me. Guys, bottom line is we're grateful to the jury. They saw through this mirage of a case. He said from day one he was innocent. He turned down a plea for almost no jail time because he was innocent. And I've always said this was an extortion. The extortion played out live in color in court. You know, we've always said what it says is that the district attorney should look long and hard at prosecuting Terell Ephron. We've said that from day one. They should do it now. They have him admitting to perjury. They have him committing extortion. The jury saw through it and came to an enormously quick and speedy verdict, the right verdict. And we thank this jury. And again, for me, my partner Chad, we're honored to have represented this amazing family. Rocky is one of my closest friends, but he's also just a great person. Rihanna, they are seriously the greatest people. And I said I love them, and I really do love them. And I got emotional in my summation because I care about them. This is one of the happiest days of my life, and I'm happy for them because they've earned this and deserve it.
Get this guy on all that.
Thank you, brother. Okay, guys.
Get this guy all that.
Yeah, they wasn't giving him no room to breathe coming up out of there. But that's expected, especially in places like LA.
Oh, I didn't know Rihanna was. Look at her. Let's see if she said something.
Wait. This is a camera stand.
They more concerned trying to get her out of there. Look at Rocky. He behind. They try to get Rihanna out of there. She holding on to a man though.
Yeah, that's his mother and his sister in front, and then she right there with Rocky.
Yeah, okay, that's his security guard. I think the other two are Rihanna's. But in any event,
I mean,
but look, it's crazy how everybody show up. Where was all this action when trial first started? You didn't hear nothing about it.
You know, the verdict is the biggest thing.
Right, everybody run to the courthouse. They want to run and see what's going on.
Yeah, because don't nobody know what the jury gonna say. So if he found guilty, they want to snap pictures and all of that. Found not guilty, you know, you see what it looked like out there now.
So I wonder where all the what the guilty people are talking about. That's why I want to hear from Lewin, and I know some other pages and blogs and stuff like that were leaning towards guilty. And you know, I would really like to talk to them to see why.
Let me say this real quick, because I'll be on different channels in the chats watching, and there's a couple of them that thought he was guilty. I mean, they was in love with Lewin, and you know, you could hear the bias. I'll say this: I was biased too, but I only became biased after the evidence was presented. Looking at the evidence, you know. So yeah, I did have a biased opinion, but it was only after looking at the evidence. And you know, it's a saying: two people can look at the same exact thing and see something totally different. You know, and that's what it is. And I'll say this, like in these chats and stuff, when y'all put these polls and everything up, those polls are 9 times out of 10 right. So when it comes to the verdict, well, guilty or not guilty, the polls be right usually.
All right, sorry about that. It switched to a different feed. It went over.
Oh, okay.
I think it went to the Super Bowl halftime show.
They want to see Kendrick now.
They want to see Kendrick. They not like us. They not like us. They gonna be doing all that. Oh, he probably gonna party tonight in LA. What y'all thought about the Super Bowl halftime while we here? What y'all thinking? What y'all thought about it?
As far as me,
yeah.
Initially, I didn't. I thought it was good. Everybody was waiting to see if he was gonna do the not like us. But once you look at it and analyze it, and I've seen some other channels, it was a bunch of hidden messages that he was putting out there. A bunch of them. Like if you notice, if you watched it, when you look at he was doing the song Peekaboo, and you see he was standing in the middle of the X, and at the top of the X on each side, it was two smaller X's, and that was for the young rapper out of Florida, Triple X Tentacion, got murdered, and Drake's name came up in that. That was one of the hidden messages. That was just one of them. It was a lot of them. Even Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam. There was a hidden message in that, and that was referring to the injustice of America. You know, he had a lot of hidden gems in there that people, include me at first, didn't recognize.
Let me jump in real quick. It's the same name over there. Since they found a clear video. And yeah, I just pulled this up real quick just to show some of the exhibits. These were some of the exhibits the prosecutor used: a donut, 2 pictures of a dog, a picture of a hand that was even in evidence, and they're trying to say that picture was edited. It was photoshopped to make the blood and stuff seem more elaborate than what it really was. So, I mean, it was crazy how they really talked about Lewin and his closing arguments, but yet he did a bang up job. Also, I know Nishi was saying go back and play the question. Y'all really, that was about 30 minutes. 30 minutes from this morning. Can you remember?
That happened this morning.
Yeah. Do y'all want to watch 30 minutes? The prosecutor and the defense arguing, or do y'all think, nah, we already got the verdict, we good? What y'all think?
Nishi said go back.
Yeah. We might pause on that. Since we already got the verdict, it's a moot point at this point. but I got you, and I see this. Y'all getting out of here one by one. Y'all say y'all done with it. Y'all done.
You know what I think with the emotions?
She sent it to me.
I think that Rocky's lawyers are going to file something against Lewin. You know, because when you think back, everything that Taco was saying when he's talking about the Ninth Circuit, said he lied to a jury in another case, and then all this stuff right here. I think he's going to file something against Lewin. You got to remember, Lewin is already being sued by some of his co-workers at the LA District Attorney's office. Him and the head DA. You know, so.
Right. Yep, that's true. Yeah, that is true. She said that she was going to send us something. Okay. But I don't. Okay, here we go. Share the post. Okay, accept. Now this is gonna be a little tricky if you're gonna let me play it. Oh, okay, I got a link. It's kind of just like a clear, well, I wouldn't say, yeah. Okay, what if I share it here, present? Let me see if I can share my X.
Just so thankful. This is crazy right now. This whole
account.
God
Twitter.
first. You gotta thank God first. You know what I'm saying? And I really want to thank the jury for making the right decision. You know, and I'm just so thankful. This is crazy right now. This whole experience has been crazy for the past 4 years, but I'm thankful. Nonetheless, I'm thankful, and we're blessed to be here right now, to be a free man talking to y'all. Thank you. All praise to God.
Congratulations. Hey, sir.
Thank you, brother. God first. You got to thank God first. You know what I'm saying? And I really want to thank the jury for making the right decision. You know.
Man, listen, he don't know how close that jury came. We had one of them. We had one that was shaky. she was shaking. I don't know what.
You know what I think though? I think if it came down to a hung jury, the state wouldn't have retried him. Prosecutor wouldn't have retried him because they know the evidence was
No,
so
they
weak.
wouldn't have did it. No. Let me maybe we can just watch the beginning. I think the beginning is when it was like the fireworks when they got into it this morning. It was mainly the beginning. Let me see if I can do it like this. Where was that link? I thought I had a link of it. Somebody had shared the link. Thank you again, Miss Trakisha, for sharing that. That was a good up close and personal shot. Somebody got a good angle. Hold on, so I can find. But Rocky jumping over just took the cake. Where he jumped over that balcony, whatever that.
Oh yeah.
Ladder was. Even his lawyer said, "Yeah, that was crazy, right? Nobody expected that." Especially after the first not guilty, when you wait to hear more than one.
Well, I look at it like once that first not guilty came, they knew both of them was gonna be not guilty.
Right.
You know, they knew, and that's just my thoughts, because in a case like that, you either found guilty of everything or you're found not guilty of everything.
Let's see if we can do this real quick. Let's watch the beginning of a piece of this, and this is when they first got into it this morning. Let me see if we can do it like this.
Good morning, God.
I got
the jury's over there, so they can keep us away.
All right. You ready, Kevin?
I'm ready.
All right, we'll go on the record in Mr. Mayers' case. He is not present.
Yes.
Do you waive your client's presence for
Yes, that's fine.
legal purposes?
Yes.
All right, two issues that we're going to deal with. One is the allegation that Mr. Tacopina violated the gag order. The other is the defense position that Mr. Lewin misled the jury in his summation. First issue regarding the gag order, I don't need any response from anybody. I don't want any response from anybody. I was forwarded the part that was believed that Mr. Tacopina violated the gag order, and I had to listen to it a number of times, and I wrote it down word for word. And this is what Mr. Tacopina said when he was interviewed by, is the last name Baden?
Yes. Kenny Baden. Linda Kenny Baden.
That's Kenney. I'm not sure how to spell the last name.
And her partner is
Michael
Bryant. All right, Miss Baden asked you if you could comment on what was said at the sidebar, and this is what you said. There is one part of the gag order still in effect. Actually, that's not right. There was only one part of the gag order.
Yeah.
But anyway, there is one part of the gag order still in effect. And it has to do with a particular sidebar conference that we had regarding the question that you are asking about right now. In that regard, I can't really speak to anything the judge said at the sidebar during Relli's testimony. I do not believe that that is a violation of the gag order. That's the ruling. I don't need any response from anybody else, from anybody. All right, the motion filed by the defense. I've read the motion. Mr. Lewin, did you want to respond?
The motion's absurd. It's being done clearly, as was the interview, to attempt to sway the jury. It's interesting that after telling the court repeatedly and counsel on the record that he would not be doing any interviews during the pendency of this trial, that the day before the jury deliberates, he does.
No. I'm done with that.
I'm explaining the motion. The motion, number one, sets out two apparently issues. One is that he is trying to say that I intentionally switched photographs. Now I'm going to show them up to the court. It's patently absurd. Just so it's clear, I got in this case extremely late. I was on the case basically. I started the day before trial. So I had the exhibits from my co-counsel. The exhibit list that I had, he had a number of photos of the victim's fingers, the injury that he had. The exhibit that I had and that I used in closing, although it was on his exhibit list that he gave me, it's not the photo that he used. But just so it's clear, Mr. President, just so it's clear, both photos, this is the correct exhibit, as the court is aware, and this exhibit basically shows the injury to the finger.
What exhibit was that?
This is People's 17. I used a photo which also shows his hand with the injuries, thinking that was the exhibit that was used. As the court is aware, does the court need me to come up to the court to examine them or not?
No.
They're showing the same thing. There's absolutely no prejudice. It's absurd.
And I know that's correct.
Yes. Regarding the second issue, let me be clear about this. We admitted People's 15. I had no part in gathering those videos. I got them from my co-counsel. Both parties, both the defense and the people, slowed down their respective exhibits during closing argument. I said on the record, I am playing this at half speed. When you slow down a video, it slows down how it is played. It does not change how the video is presented. But I want to add something else. Both Mr. Prezemek and I have been extremely clear from the start.
Let me jump in real quick. Thank you so much, C-Mac, with the 10 for the win. So glad to be celebrating with TTL in the chat. Family, we won. We did it. We did it, Joe. Thank you so much, C-Mac. Definitely appreciate you. Yes, I do believe that the outcome was a true and just verdict as well.
It is not when the particular gunshot was fired. What is important is, and this is demonstrated on the video, is that the cause of the incident was not the victim attacking ASAP Mills. It was the defendant pulling out his firearm. That is when he pulls out the firearm, that is what prompts the victim to try to hide behind Ills. So the idea that somehow I slowed down or changed the video is absurd. I don't even have the capability to do it. What I did is exactly what I said. I played it at a reduced speed, which, by the way, before I did my argument, counsel got up on the other side and he said, I'm going to play this at slow speed, his exhibit. Now, if we go back one step, the defense had an issue apparently with the surveillance videos that Mr. Prezemek gave them well in advance of this case. After the conclusion of our case, and actually at the end of their case, they actually moved the court, if the court can recall, because they wanted to put in a different video. The court allowed that video in. That video is evidence, our video is evidence. I would finally add that what is said in closing argument is not evidence in the case. What is said in closing argument is argument. The exhibits speak for themselves. And finally, because it needs to be addressed, counsel is apparently in discussions with a couple of lawyers on 2 murder cases, which I won, where that appellate lawyer is involved in both of them. And he has basically attempted to tarnish my well-deserved 30-year reputation, which the court has commented on repeatedly. There has only been one time in this case where a court has found that there was any violation that was not inadvertent, and that did not occur with the people. So let's be clear. When they put in their motion, and there's no reason for it, Your Honor, they quote a Ninth Circuit opinion, which, by the way, was reversed, not for prosecutorial misconduct, it was reversed for instructional error. But I'm just going to add that Justice Hofstede, who is one of the most outstanding justices in the California court system, wrote the original opinion, found no error whatsoever. Neither did the Cal Supreme Court, neither did the federal district court judge who looked at the case. And I will just add that
I believe that y'all know this whole trial, we never had a camera up front and close like this. I believe he wanted this camera sitting in his face so he can have a chance to clean up his reputation of why the Ninth Circuit said he lied to them. He lied to the jury. Because why is this camera right in his face all of a sudden?
And if that wasn't true, why would Taco get up there and say that knowing he's making a false statement?
Right. Yeah, I think this was by design. Let's see what else he got.
in the very Ninth Circuit opinion that they cite, which was a 2-to-1 decision, if you go to the dissent makes clear in their dissent that, in fact, my argument about Joe Giarrusso and the fact that the victim in that case was alone at the time of the murder, the majority felt that because she had had dinner with him hours before the murder, that meant she was not alone that night. As the dissent made clear, and as the California Court of Appeal made clear, I was commenting on the fact that at the time she was murdered in the middle of the night, almost beheaded, she was by herself. Now, why that has any...
But I need him to comment on the fact of what he was doing in New York in the middle of the night by himself.
He wasn't by himself.
Right, he went by. Let him tell he was by himself and his daughter, but he got caught.
Court of Appeal made clear. I was commenting on the fact that at the time she was murdered in the middle of the night, almost beheaded, she was by herself. Now, why that has any business in a motion they filed, you would have to ask them. But I find it extremely interesting.
We asking you
that given the repeated discovery violations, which the court has found, given the leaks to the media, which, by the way, the individual who did the interview yesterday, who is apparently Mr. Tacopina's close friend and law school education partner, she is the one who reported an alleged conversation that originally occurred at sidebar. I find it rich that the defense makes these allegations. They are slanderous. They are not accurate. And I've got a 30-year reputation with this court.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do got a 30-year reputation. And the court knows you. That's why the court was treating you the way it was treating you the whole time, yelling at you to stop it and the whole time. The judge know what he's dealing with. He's been dealing with it for 30 years.
Not accurate. And I've got a 30-year reputation with this court and with my office, which I will stand by. And the minute the court finds that I've done anything unethical, I would like the court to say so. I'm going to add one last thing because it's important. The defense was upset because we ended up getting a report from ballistics that was inculpatory. It only would have helped us. As soon as we got it, we turned it over to them. We then made arrangements to get them the evidence. And in fact, we didn't end up doing testing at the court's order because of the timing. The defense was actually given more ability to test the evidence than we were just because of the timing involved. The court found at the time that as soon as we were aware of information, we turned it over. The court is also aware of a second situation, which has not been made public, where we became aware of potential evidence, didn't know whether it would be exculpatory or inculpatory, and we alerted the court to that, and the court ended up making arrangements. Every single issue that we've had in this case regarding discovery, as soon as we find it, we present it to the defense. Finally, the issue with the alleged stipulation with Relli. As the court is aware, and as the court has stated on the record, everybody at the time believed that the stipulation, that the firing range was out of state. That was my understanding when it happened. As the court is aware, numerous times during this case, I offered to stipulate to assist the defense. Many times, as the court is aware, Mr. Tacopino would be standing up there, not knowing what his problem was, not knowing what the foundation was, not knowing how to introduce certain evidence. And I would say to him, he would look at me, what's wrong? And I would say, okay, Joe, here's what.
So now he's talking about Joe not being a good lawyer. He didn't know how to introduce evidence. He didn't know what was wrong. He had to help him.
Right.
Many
He's taking.
times, as the court is aware, Mr. Tacopino would be standing up there, not knowing what his problem was, not knowing what the foundation was, not knowing how to introduce certain evidence. And I would say to him, he would look at me, what's wrong? And I would say, okay, Joe, here's what I can do. And I would stipulate. I made that offer to stipulate because everybody at the time believed that the firing range was in California. The court has already found that the court believed it. We believed it. That's why we offered it. I would further add that the fact that the victim was in California at a firing range 2 weeks before this incident occurred has about almost no relevance or impact on the case.
Yeah, I want to point this out because once he's done talking, the other side is going to talk a little bit about the gun range, and Lewin wanted to shut them up really quickly. So it's my theory that Lewin is a member of that gun range that Relli was at. So he knew exactly what gun range Relli was at when he saw the video the first time. He tried to make it seem like there was a gun range in New York, but if you're a member of that gun range, you're always there. You're going to know what the gun range look like. But when the defense tried to say something about it, he was like, Judge, what we do in our personal time and our personal life shouldn't come out on national TV. So he shut it down. But that's what I gathered from that. We'll hear in a second, and y'all tell me what y'all think, if that's the case or not.
However, when aspersions are made that somehow that was kept from them, or that somehow we ended up asking for a stipulation in anything other than good faith, the court has already made its comments. I would request the court to, and I'm asking the court, if the court thinks that anything that Mr. Proslemic and I have done has been a violation of discovery, has been unethical, I'd like the court to say so. The court has been very clear that that is not the court's belief.
Who is this?
In the end, we made a conscious decision, because it's ethical, not to try this case in the press. You haven't seen one comment from us, not one. Mr. Tacopino's motion, or maybe it's motion, I don't know what communication, has insinuated that somehow we're talking to a reporter. We know he's talking to a reporter. Let's back it up. I am more than willing right now to go under oath.
No, we're not doing that.
Well,
We're not doing that.
Well, understood, Your Honor, but I want to make sure that my personal intent.
But when you was under oath in the New York case, never mind, at your deposition,
integrity has been impeached. I won't stand for it. I am more than happy. You put me under oath, you put Mr. Tacopino. I understand the court doesn't want to do it, but I want to make sure I've offered that. Haven't heard the same thing from Mr. Tacopino. Would love for that to occur.
Who wants to speak?
I'll speak, Your Honor, to this. Okay, because all I've been hearing for the last 10 minutes is deflection here. So Mr. Lewin just asked, deflection. All he's doing is deflecting. So first of all, he asked, why we would raise a Ninth Circuit decision. What does it have to do with this? Someone should ask us. Okay, the question's been asked. Here's what it has to do with this. The Ninth Circuit said that Mr. Lewin lied to a jury. That's why. Here he is saying, "Oh, my reputation."
That is untrue.
I'd like him to speak, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm not going to have that kind of personal aspersion made against my reputation and character. I won't have it.
They take it up with the Ninth Circuit. Okay, I didn't say it. They said it.
The Ninth Circuit did not say that.
Your Honor, the Ninth Circuit said there was an untruth that was presented to the jury by this individual right here, regardless of the basis for reversal. That's what the Ninth Circuit said, and the reason we raised it with respect to this is because there's a claim of prosecutorial misconduct. And by the way, let's deal with this in reverse. The stipulation, right? Because that was one issue of prosecutorial misconduct. I just heard Mr. Lewin say that everyone believed that shooting range was out of state. Who believed that? The witness didn't know that. Mr. Tacopino didn't know that. In fact, did Mr. Lewin know that it was out of state? Did he? Because I find that very difficult to believe, given the fact that it was not out of state. So either one of two things happened, and Mr. Tacopina said this previously. Either one, he knew it wasn't out of state and tried to lie to the jury, or best case scenario for Mr. Lewin, he didn't know and asked for a stipulation. Now, on this point, let me just note, I know that Mr. Lewin apparently,
Slow down.
fine, fair enough. I know that Mr. Lewin
Slow down.
I know, Your Honor, that Mr. Lewin, because he's represented this to other people, is, my understanding, knowledgeable about firearms. He carries them. I find it very difficult to believe that Mr. Lewin did not know that the LA shooting range is not in Los Angeles. So when he's here trying to bolster his own reputation,
I'm going to ask the counsel to not bring up anything personal about what I do or do not do when I'm outside of the office.
No. What you do and do not do in New York, we need to know about it. Because it directly affects your work.
He got real defensive about that LA shooting range.
Right. I guess he don't want people to know his hangout spot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Personal about what I do or do not do when I'm outside of the office. It is absolutely inappropriate.
Now it's inappropriate.
Well, Your
But
Honor,
you brought up that kid.
this individual,
Just
Mr. Lewin.
talk about your motion. That's what I want you to talk about.
Well, okay, Your Honor. All right,
I
that's
read
what you
it.
want to.
All 11 pages.
Thank you very much,
Stick to
Your Honor.
that.
Fine.
And I don't really like the judge, the way he's treating this lawyer, because he let Lewin talk about everything under the sun for 20 minutes. And now he's telling this lawyer he's interrupting, slow down, just stick to the motion, don't talk about nothing else.
When this individual,
Just
Mr. Lewin.
talk about your motion. That's what I want you to talk about.
Well, okay, Your Honor. All right,
I
that's what
read
you
it.
want to.
All 11 pages.
Thank you very much,
Stick to
Your Honor.
that.
Fine. The claim here is one of prosecutorial misconduct, and specifically deliberate prosecutorial misconduct.
Look how he
which is why I
look.
was
Look,
raising
y'all, look how he look. Look at that smile. Look at Joe's smile. He said prosecutorial misconduct.
misconduct, and specifically deliberate prosecutorial misconduct, which is why I was raising these other issues and just responding to Mr. Lewin. With that said, let me focus on the motion.
Stop it.
So we didn't raise this issue to distract or try to mislead the jury. To the contrary, the misleading was done by the prosecution. If the court will recall, at the end of Friday's proceedings, we raised this issue with the court and said it appeared to us, looking at the video on the screen, that it was altered. We then asked Mr. Lewin, would you show us the PowerPoint so we could resolve this issue now and avoid potential appellate issues? You would think at a bare minimum, to avoid this very matter, he would have said, sure, take a look at it. Instead, no, he adamantly refused, packed his bags, and got out of that courtroom as fast as anyone could. Now, we then fortunately had the opportunity to look at that video because it was televised on court TV. And sure enough, it was altered. That wasn't People's Exhibit 15, okay? What the video that Mr. Lewin presented to this jury during summation showed was the shot taking place before Relli ran towards Ills. Now, the prosecution says, oh, it's not a significant issue. The timing of the shot couldn't be more significant with respect to the claim of self-defense. Now, perhaps Mr. Lewin doesn't realize that it's an issue in this case when he and the prosecution in general told the jury they only have one matter to consider, which is a prop gun. That's not the case. Self-defense, of course, is an issue in this matter if the jury finds that there was no prop gun. The timing of this couldn't be more critical. So, Your Honor, this has nothing to do with slowing down a tape. That's what Mr. Lewin speaks to. Oh, we slowed down the video. It's not about that. It's about moving the shot a second earlier. That's what they did. And I would just add, People's Exhibit 15, and we raised an issue with this previously. We were advised by the prosecution that Detective Flores is the one who prepared that video. When Mr. Tacopina questioned Detective Flores about it, he said, no, it wasn't me. Even at this moment, we don't know who prepared People's Exhibit 15. There wasn't a proper foundation laid for it. We objected. The court allowed it in. But now, during summation, to alter that video further and present a misleading image to the jury in terms of what happened couldn't be more of an example of prosecutorial misconduct in this case. The law is clear. And in that regard, I would note this. I don't accept Mr. Lewin's assertion. I know the court has spoken to this, but I don't accept Mr. Lewin's assertion that the photograph of the quote-unquote bloody knuckles that was introduced was inadvertent. I see him holding a photograph right now. I can assure you that the photograph that was displayed to the jury was not what he has in his hands. It was brighter. It exaggerated the nature of the injury. Unfortunately, They had the weekend to do whatever it is that they did with their videos and with their photographs. But the fact of the matter is we all saw it. There was a photograph that was introduced to this jury that was not admitted, that exaggerated the extent of purportedly the complainant's knuckles. We don't know because there was no testimony regarding that. Never should have been presented. I appreciate the court swiftly taking action to resolve that situation. But given that that occurred once, and now we have another video that alters what occurred, I find it difficult to believe that it was inadvertent. And in fact, for that matter, how? How could you have a video inadvertently manipulated? It's deliberate action. So, Your Honor, here's where we are. There was a video that misleadingly presented to the jury something that was not People's Exhibit 15. The only resolution at this point, Your Honor, would be to advise the jury to disregard that video that was presented by the people because it moved the shot to an earlier time than what's reflected on People's Exhibit 15. That's the only solution at this point, to try to resolve this issue and avoid potential appellate issues. That's our request. We briefed the issue, the law is clear. You know, I don't know what more to do at this point, but it has to be addressed to this jury because right now they're in the back.
No, they're not. Not yet.
They will, fair enough, Your Honor. They will be in the back, having seen the last video in the courtroom, one that wasn't in evidence and misrepresents the timing of the shot. It couldn't be more paramount despite the prosecution's claims that it's insignificant. I know they want it to be insignificant, but it couldn't be more significant with respect to the issue of self-defense, Your Honor.
Your Honor, can I just respond to the video portion of it? I don't need to yell and I don't need to hash out anything else. But as to the surveillance video, all that happened, it took some technical expertise to create that video where one is on top of another, which is not any kind of program that I have access to. So I went to someone in the DA's office who works in our video laboratory that has access to Adobe Premiere and asked her to line up those two videos at the point in time when when a floodlight is seen in both videos as a visual cue. And if the court is not following what I'm saying, I can pull up the video and show the court. And that was done with Detective Flores's, kind of in pre-consult with him. He was aware of what was going to happen. We talked about how that was going to.
Tell me again. You went to someone in the DA's office and they did what?
Just ask them to put the videos on top of each other because one video has audio and one captures actually captured the shooting. Okay, so it's the video that we've all been describing as sequenced surveillance video. It just took a special program called Adobe Premiere to be able to play those two videos at the same time and screen record. That was it. That happened well before the trial, and I gave that to defense counsel, and I told them that Detective Flores would authenticate the video, not that he had been the one who created it with computer programs. So that was all that happened with how that video was created, and I had asked her to line it up with a visual cue in the videos, which is when a floodlight turns on. That video has not been changed, manipulated, or anything since the trial happened. I have not gone back to the person who created that video or anything like that. So I can tell you, and honestly, and this is more from my personal experiences with Mr. Lewin and his technical abilities, I can guarantee you Mr. Lewin would not have the ability to move the sound of the gunshot in those videos.
See, and when y'all first told me about him going to New York, I would have thought he had the ability to, to do some trickery like that, prosecute a man, and then go over there and do that. But he did it, according to the wife. He did it, didn't he?
Hey.
So I don't put nothing past him.
Right, and I'm gonna tell you what saved why the judge sustained them objecting to what the defense just did, because of him right there. He don't trust Lewin, but he think dude is straight up dude, because you hear him say, according to whatever his name is, I can't even pronounce his last name. He got a crazy last name. According to what he just stated, he don't believe that it was intentional. But it was definitely intentional. That's why you look at this picture right there, Lewin. That's why he's smiling.
Right, look at it. Look.
He's sitting there smiling.
He's smiling.
He looked like a Gargamel.
Look at him. Look. He know he didn't got away with something. Look at his face.
I mean, so to that issue on whether or not the video that he played for the jury was changed, I can tell you that's the only copy of that video that we've had where the two videos are playing on top of each other. There's only one that exists. It's been labeled sequence surveillance video. It's the one that was played in his PowerPoint. I can't speak to how it came
Sir, close your mouth. I mean, what's going on?
out on court TV, but I can tell you we did not move the sound of that shot, and nor do we, I think as Mr. Lewin articulated, feel that that is really the relevant inquiry for the jury. We have always argued, I did it in mine and he did it in his closing, that the point in time that matters is when the defendant turns around having pulled the gun, not when he actually fires it. So I just wanted to add that because Mr. Siegel had brought up how the video was created and that we had changed it. That video was not changed as it went into Mr. Lewin's power.
Your Honor,
No,
I could just read this
I've heard enough.
Your Honor.
You filed the motion, I heard from Mr. Lewin, I heard from you,
Right.
and then I heard from Mr. Cruz-Loma. That's it. No more. That's it. All right, based on the explanation from Mr. Cruz-Loma, I can say I don't believe anything nefarious occurred here. I don't think anything was altered. Now, what the focus is, or what the issue is with the defense has to do with People's 15, which is the video that was admitted into evidence and the PowerPoint. People's 15, which the jury has, shows from the time elapsed from the second shot to Rocky coming in contact with 12E is 6.98 seconds. The PowerPoint, which Mr. Krzomic described as trying to put one on top of the other, the sound in addition to the video, the audio on top of the video, that shows that there is 7.98 seconds that elapsed between the second shot to Rocky coming in contact with 12.
Jared,
Do you really think, does anybody really think that by showing that video to the jury in final argument, that they would pick up that there was a 1 second difference between the PowerPoint and People's 15? That is virtually impossible. No human would be able to do that. In addition, what is said in final argument and in summation is fair comment. It is not evidence. The jury was told that. As to the hand photo, I don't agree with you, Mr. Siegel. I think it was done by accident. The two photos are almost identical, and it was corrected immediately. The defendant's motion for an order directing the people to preserve its closing argument PowerPoint with regard to prosecutorial misconduct is denied. The motion to request that the court instruct the jury to disregard the sequence surveillance video displayed during the Mr. Lewin's summation argument is denied. All right, that's it.
No, record. I need to take a record on that day. We're not quarreling with your decision, Your Honor. We accept it. We understand it.
All right.
Record on that day. We're not quarreling with your decision, Your Honor. We accept it. We understand it.
All right.
So what you want to we're not.
All right, that's it.
Record. I need to take a record on that day. We're not quarreling with your decision, Your Honor. We accept it. We understand it.
All right. So what you want to say for
Thank you very much. Just quickly, because this is the first time that we've heard an explanation from the prosecution regarding specifically how People's Exhibit 15 was
All right,
made.
say what you want to say.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. So there's been no witness, Detective Flores certainly didn't do it, to authenticate People's Exhibit 15. I don't know who this person was in their office that they just described that made it, but there's been no evidence to lay a proper foundation. In light of that fact, Your Honor, we're asking you to exclude People's Exhibit 15.
All right, if we hear from the jury, we will let you all know. We're all going to be an hour away.
Can I add one thing?
I think you said 90 minutes, Your Honor. You would agree to 90 minutes?
No, if there is any communication, will you all be available by phone?
I will be, absolutely. I won't be personally potentially here.
All right, so the only reason you have to come in is if there's a verdict or if the jury indicates that they are at impasse.
Well, Your Honor, what about if there's a note requesting a readback, then we have to sort of,
We call you.
yeah, and then how do
And
we?
we'll talk about it. Usually, when a jury requests readback, they'll say, okay, we want witness Jones's testimony about X.
Okay.
What I do and what Kathy does is we find out what the witness said about X on direct, cross, redirect, recross. Anything the witness said about X is provided, but nothing more.
Okay.
And nothing less.
Do we weigh in on that at all?
Well, of course.
Okay, so how, if we're not here physically, how do we do that?
You do it
We have a
on
conference.
a speakerphone.
Oh, okay.
I got it on WebEx.
Alex knows how to do it.
So we, okay, so someone knows how to do it. So we don't have to be here to discuss
No.
the notes.
No.
That's the same with questions. If there's a question, they'll read us the question.
Okay.
We'll, amongst ourselves,
Alex will take a photo of it and send it to you.
If we agree on an answer, then we end up talking to the court by phone or by WebEx, and they do it. Generally, you do not have to be in here.
Alex takes a photo of it and sends it to you.
Okay.
The actual written question. All right.
Your Honor, can I add one thing, which is we provided a clean laptop to Alex for the jurors' use. If the defense wants to go through it, I gave it to Alex. They can do whatever they want.
Thanks, Bob.
There is, if you want to go in and take a look, there's a computer with a projector and a screen.
Could we do that? There's no
Yeah, go
conference.
take a look.
Their notes are back there and things. right?
What?
The jurors' notes and stuff are back there.
Oh.
The jurors.
Could Alex walk in with us? Just-
Yeah, they have it, yes. Just go take a look.
Okay.
Man, listen. There you go. He back. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, he's trying to be back friends. He's trying to help them. Lewin trying to help the defense. Oh, yeah, you're going to call us and we're going to get on speak. Bro, we don't want to hear from you no more. You did enough. Go catch your plane.
Yeah, I don't like, the judge seemed a little biased in that motion hearing right there, because the defense you can tell it was altered. I mean, you can look at, yeah, well, yeah, but remember in his when Lewin got up there, when he first got up there to start his closing, he put that up there. And when they was right up under the parking garage, as soon as it came up, you heard the gunshot. And he said, oh, that was, what he say? That wasn't purposely or something he said. But the gunshot went off right then. And he's saying like 1 second don't make a difference. No human can possibly, man, yes, you can. That 1 second make all the difference in the world. Because it can make the jury think the shot was fired before it actually was. Like you say, before he attacked Eels, which make it look like, okay, he just fired the shot for no reason. So that 1 second make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Let me see something.
I mean, at the end of the day, it didn't make a difference because you still got a not guilty verdict.
Right.
But had there been a guilty verdict, that would have been a major appealable issue.
Right. He would have had some tough questions asking him, especially now that the courts know that his tactics are questionable. They're going to be really watching him. Thank you, Reverend of Go Roro, for gifting a gold membership to Andrea C. So thank you so much for always supporting the channel and for being a member yourself. Definitely appreciate you, Reverend of Go Roro. Let's go. Come on. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Andrea, somebody say, who's Andrea C? Maybe she in the bushes. Hey, them,
Yeah, no.
them gifted memberships will pull you out the bushes, won't they?
Oh, yeah.
It'll put your name up. Like, hey, you won it.
No, them memberships coming through.
Did you watch the jury speak? I only saw one person on was it Neek at night?
Yeah.
On her channel. Was there any other members of the jury that spoke out? I can't wait for that. So they can come out and say, hey, oh girl was on her own. Okay, yeah. We watched that.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said I thought it was odd that as soon as you come out the courtroom, the jury speaking. You know, usually they be trying to wind down. They don't want to talk because they tired from all this what they just went through.
Right.
She was happy. She was happy to stand there and be in the camera.
Yeah, she upset.
She's gonna be the first one that they call when they want to do a real interview where they can monetize off of. And I'm not mad at that. You know, they all do it in them high profile cases like that involving celebrities. Look at YSL. I think it was like 6 jurors and then 409.
Yeah. They end up speaking out.
Didn't nobody talk to 409 but Dennis Byron? Didn't nobody want to talk to her?
Thank you, Reverend Guru. You right. Definitely appreciate you. It's been a good fun trial. I will say that. Wait, you just said you want to talk to who? Dennis Byron?
Yeah. That's who did the interview with 409 from the YSC.
Well,
Dennis Byron.
I think he did good.
Or is it Dennis Byron or Byron Dennis?
And I think
He got
Dennis is
two
his
first
first
names.
Yeah, I think Dennis is his first name, but he had the same puzzled look on his face while she was talking. We like what? How we was looking when this lady on this jury was talking. Like what? You just voted him not guilty, but everything you saying in the way you're speaking is screaming guilty.
Right.
If you listen closely to her words, he got lucky, and unfortunately, we all thought a crime was committed. We thought it was a real gun. We didn't believe the fake gun defense. We thought Lewin was a good prosecutor. We thought Relli was telling the truth, but they didn't. But they
she thought Relli actually really feared for his life.
Yeah, he feared for his life, but she thought ASAP, 12 and Louis was lying about it being a fake gun. So wait, make it make sense.
Right. Yeah, but you had that. You gonna have that, with some jurors. You gonna have that because everybody got their own thoughts, and to them.
Wait a minute, I don't believe she was an alternate because that wouldn't make sense in what she was saying.
No, she wasn't an alternate.
Yeah, she was an alternate. She didn't deliberate. I don't think that's the case, Sean Smith. No, I think she was in the room. She was one of the main ones.
Yeah, she did deliberate.
Yeah,
that's why she spoke out. If she was an alternate, she wouldn't have been in the deliberation room, so that she wouldn't even know what was said in the deliberation room.
Oh, okay. So it's confusion. Yes, the one that talked to Dennis in the YSL case, juror 409 was alternate, but the one that talked today in Rocky's case was not an alternate. Okay, so that's what the confusion was. Yeah, no problem. We good. They say, boy, you be moving more on this live than KB. She catching planes, she taxi, ATV. Shout out to Kayla. Hopefully she doing well.
Come on, Go Roro, don't do me like that. I got a little, got to move a little bit. I got a little things.
Right.
I'm usually sitting still.
Right, it's been dinner 3 hours, then it's late. I mean, they caught me by surprise. I know you emailed me and was saying that it was probably a verdict out, but I think that was a little early because it wasn't confirmed at that point. But like right after that, I think it was out by the time I emailed you. So somebody knew something. So maybe they had a heads up.
No, what happened was I was on Justice Served Live.
Okay.
I guess somebody told them that there was a verdict. That's why when I hit you, I said, "Well, I'm watching Justice Served TV, and they're saying it's a verdict, but they haven't confirmed it yet." And then I went over to Katnot Williams, and she said, "Oh, we have a verdict." And so I went back to Justice Served, and they said, "Oh, we have a verdict now." And that's when I hit you up and let you know what was going on.
Well, they was mad at them people over there at that channel for interviewing Joe Tacopina. They did not like that. Lewin didn't like that. You know, he watched that whole interview and came and cried to the court.
You know, Megan Cuniff was saying guilty.
Get them. Well, you come on. Yeah, I told you on Twitter that on X they were all saying that she leaned heavily towards guilty. Like she wanted them to go to jail. I don't know if that's true, and that's what people are saying on X.
Right.
But you're saying she said it or you saw her said it?
Yeah, I watched her channel. I don't know, yesterday or Friday, and yeah, she was alluding to the guilty thing. So I said,
That's crazy. I mean, nothing against her. A lot of people can misread a jury, and sometimes, juries do what they want to do. But to be sitting in the courtroom and because she was actually apparently sitting in the courtroom, so she could see the juror's face.
Right.
Each one facial expression. Are they mad? They got their arms folded, or they closed off, or they nodding off. They shutting you out, or they leaning forward, or they nodding, or they agreeing with you. She had the benefit of all of that and still thought that it was going to be a guilty verdict. So you never know how these juries go.
You really don't.
I can tell you that. And we didn't have the benefit of all of that, but we had the benefit of the evidence. And the evidence told us that it was just not guilty. It wasn't enough to overcome that burden.
And that's another thing I said, like when I was talking about the chats and all that, like people be in the chats and they be in the chats, and when y'all do those polls, guilty, not guilty, usually what the people say, 9 times out of 10, that be accurate. How it's gonna come out? Because you got to remember, we're all potential jurors. We're looking at the same thing. And us in the chats and stuff, we see even stuff that the jury don't see.
Right. And that's why, the polls not only here but across the board, it was consistently not guilty if you have to run the numbers over and over again. So it's almost like, sometimes they have elections, but they do polling and get a sample. And a lot of times those samples, once you get the numbers of a small sample and you spread out that sample, you can pretty much tell which way that group is going to go most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, those polls be right.
Yeah, they be right. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna have that community tab open. I think it's still open from last time. If y'all see any trials that y'all think are interesting that's coming up, let me know. Put it in that community tab post, or just leave a comment. I'll see it.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if we can filter some out and cover.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll see something, I'll send it to your email.
Yeah. If y'all see something, let me know. And if it's something that interests the group, then we can kind of cover it. some of these cases you really don't want to get caught up in because some of them last so long. Like the
Right.
Karen Reed lady, how long is her trial?
Well, she going for a retrial. Didn't she get a mistrial the first one?
Right.
And so they're going back, but they got so many motions. They that's crazy. Her case crazy. YNW Melly. That's ridiculous.
So they're trying to and I've seen this a lot, you know, on X. They're trying to determine whether Tacopina, defense attorney Taco, and he has no problem with that name. I saw the interview you sent me. He liked it. He embraced Taco. So
Right.
as far as ASAP Taco, do you think he was a top-notch attorney in this case, or do you think he was handed a winnable case?
I'll say this. Top notch, I've seen better, but I think he did a real good job in this case.
And I think somebody had asked earlier how much I think he charged. I mean, it's just hard to say. It's really hard to say because he's been working this case for a while now, ever since the beginning. So I don't know if he charged Rocky full price or doubled or he knew it was going to be a publicity case, a famous case. He may say, "Hey, I'm not going to even charge you my full retainer because I know I'm going to make so much more."
Right.
Just by representing you and then winning too. I mean, I'm sure the price just went up for Joe. Although I will say this, you still can't go up too high because your average client is not going to be a millionaire / billionaire family.
Now, I don't know, just from what I've seen, when you get into lawyers and they get these high profile cases involving celebrities, or people with money, period, they usually charge by the hour.
That could be. I mean, just depends.
But the way Taco was talking about Rocky, I think he just gave him one flat rate.
Yeah, he could have. I mean, some things I guess we would never know. But I think it was money well spent. They took a big gamble with the prop gun defense. But the more they fleshed it out, the more you could have been like, okay, maybe that's reasonable. If it was a real gun, and I'm still going back to that, where are the real shell casings? Because they still should be there somewhere.
Right.
They got to be there somewhere. They didn't disappear.
And even with that, yeah, there has to be shell casings, even with a prop gun.
Right. Where are
they? I will say this: the defense, the prosecution made good argument with that. However, they didn't prove that it was a real gun.
Right.
And that's the thing. The state didn't prove it was a real firearm. So now you have a dilemma. So to me, that's a wash. And the defense didn't have to prove anything. They wasn't under no obligation. And I think why that juror felt the way she did, because when Lewin got up there and say, well, why didn't they take bring the gun in or the prop gun in, or when they had 12E and ASAP Blue on the stand, well, why didn't you tell the police or call the DA? That's not our job. And that would have been my response. That's not my job. I'm not an investigator.
Right. 7 Strings, what you think? I know you wasn't feeling Taco. We all saw the comments, but do you think that he came through for his client? You think he brought it home like he was supposed to do? If Rocky catch another case for shooting another person and say it's a prodigy, I'm gonna know something up. Nah, he ain't doing that no more. He got full-time security.
Right.
And I wouldn't even say shooting another person because I said that this person here wasn't shot. At least it wasn't proved beyond a reasonable doubt he was shot.
Somebody put in the comments earlier before you opened the stream up, and was like, "Who carries a prop gun?" And that's when I made the comment about, do you not know that plenty of black men and young black boys have been killed by police for having fake guns? And they went back to the Tamir Rice in Cleveland, and that's why I said that.
Yeah, and they also had the same theory as the juror. They said the same thing as far as they just couldn't get around the fact that it was a fake gun. They thought it was a real gun. And I found it interesting that the juror came out and said the same thing that person in the chat said, that they thought it was a real gun.
Yeah, but here's the thing about it. It wasn't proven.
Right.
And that don't fall on ASAP Rocky or none of the defense. They witnesses or nobody. You have to do a job. And here's the other thing. 2 days later, he walks into the LAPD with these 2 shell casings. Well, Rocky this happened in November. November 8th is when he took them in. If you found them on the night that the incident happened, why would you wait 2 days? That don't add up.
Yeah. He could have took them that night.
Right. Should have took them that night.
Yeah.
Or don't touch them if you found them right there, like you said. Don't touch them. Call the police right away.
Right. Let them deal with it.
Let them handle it.
That probably would have been the best approach, but he wanted to do it himself.
Right, because those shell cases wasn't there.
Right.
But Taco made real good point in his closing. Saying, well, if he went back to New York, if he left LA and went back to New York, where's the plane tickets? Anything that you can show what he's saying is true. And the prosecution didn't prove none of that. They didn't bring no evidence. And that's what that juror, she did say that. Based on the evidence and the jury instructions, we couldn't convict.
They had got a little good up close and personal one. Let me see if I can share that. Y'all see it? Come on here, Rihanna.
Look at Riri, she's smiling.
She's smiling.
Taco got a Jerry curl.
Yeah, they got, yeah. The security don't like it. Security, because some of the paparazzi, sometimes they'll be too pushy.
Oh yeah. Remember the other day, Thursday or Friday, when Rocky was coming into court and that woman was all up in his face and they said move, and she's like, he pushed me. Well, get out the way.
Oh, there she. Okay, we see the comfort rub. We see.
What's that?
Yeah. No, she was rubbing him on the, on the shoulder. I know she happy that it's all over with. But I still can't get over how somebody just yelled out in the crowd. How I feel winning a high profile case after Donald Trump fired you. Like, why would you do that? That's just like, and you can tell Joe was kind of upset with that.
Right.
Okay, get another look.
But you know what I believe, man? After listening to the motions this morning, Siegel's a dog.
Who?
Siegel, the other attorney, co-counsel. Hey.
Oh yeah, yeah. I expect nothing less. You want like an A team. You want everybody on the team that can help. I'm not sure who that other lady was. I think she's an attorney too, but she didn't really talk. But I'm sure behind the scenes, she probably was digging up all type of evidence. So she might be one of those that work behind the scene, or her other cases when she the first chair, when she's out front, she might be good too. So you just never know.
Right.
Thank you for all your hard work. Good night, chat family. I always have fun. Oh yeah, thank you. And if y'all find any trials that y'all find interesting, let me know so we don't have to stay away too long.
Yeah.
But yeah. I know the time has been well spent, but I definitely appreciate you coming up and helping us bring this to a close. And I know you're gonna keep me updated. If you know of any trials or something, let me know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I can't wait for your next live, right? That's right. I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board, see what's coming up, and then I'll let y'all know. But right now, this will give me time to catch up with some of my work. All right, I still got to work, y'all. I still got clients.
Right.
And
I'm gonna get with Keys Mobile and see what's going on with her situation.
Oh yeah, check on her if you can, and make sure she's good. I don't think she popped in. Okay, all right, thank you, Nisha. I don't think she popped in.
Yeah, I didn't see her at all, but it's always something. I mean, well, what about that Naziah Harris case?
Yeah, when that's supposed to come up?
Well, they're going through it now. I don't know when the actual trial date is, but I think that's coming up real soon.
Right. Okay. Well, I keep an eye on that. I know that one had a lot of interest for the public, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that and go from there.
You know, another case that I'm trying to figure out what's gonna happen with, if they find anything. I wonder what's gonna happen with the Kanika Jenkins case out of Chicago. The girl that disappeared.
Right, but I don't know. I don't think it was a criminal charges, right?
Well, I don't know if they filed charges against anybody, but it was mysterious how she died.
Yeah, but that's been what? At
About
least 5 years, easy.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I think they ruled it an accident. They're saying that she some type of way she had wandered to a freezer and it locked her in. She couldn't get out. Now I don't know. It might be a good civil case. I'm sure they're going to settle.
What you think about the case with the young girl that took her friends on vacation to Mexico and they killed her? They ended up killing her. Didn't they charge them?
I don't think so. I don't think there was no charges there. Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. It was a video, and I think they were fighting.
Yeah, they beat her up.
But I don't know if they ever said conclusively if the fight led to her death. If the fight led to that.
Well, that was the Mexican authorities. You know,
the American one for to touch that. That would have been just too hard. Because to prove that. Came back. But I know, that case made headlines too. And they go to show you got to be careful who you be going out of town and stuff with.
Yeah, that's
friends and family. None of that should have happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the U.S. It was in in Mexico, but the Mexican authorities didn't press charges, and they were trying to get the FBI involved. And it's like, nah, no way, that ain't happening. Okay, Kanika Jenkins settled. Oh yeah, thank you, Paris. I'll listen to any case. I'm just happy to be part of. Yes, thank you so much, Paris.
Yep. So
Paris said I got on too late. She said she checked out another channel until we got set up on this side.
yeah,
It's all good. It's all good. It's plenty of YouTube to go around. So definitely thank y'all.
no, definitely. You know, and it's a lot of good channels out there. I mean, but like I said, I seen a couple where Megan Kuhn being one, and another one. And it is done person. It's just your opinion, but the one I think this person is a prosecutor. I think this person is a prosecutor.
And what they say, they thought it was gonna be guilty.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's yeah. As a prosecutor, I really wonder if they really do believe their own lies. Because sometimes I'd be going against prosecutors, the case over, but they really be fighting like they got a fighting chance. And I'm like, do they really believe what they saying, or are they still putting on a show for the court?
Right. I mean, but I mean, in their defense, they got a case, and obviously they feel like they can win it. I don't know how in some cases, but it's been plenty of cases where I was siding with the prosecution because of the evidence.
But they prosecute what they want to prosecute. They
Right.
could have easily sent Relli on his way and save a lot of time and money and embarrassment to the DA's office in LA by telling him, if you don't get out of here with your them shell cases. Now the question is, now will it be a big push for them to prosecute Relli? Do you think they would turn on him?
Yeah.
And say, hey, we didn't get a conviction from Rocky, but now to get back in everyone's good graces, we're going to go after Relli and prosecute him for perjury. Do you think that they would do that?
Nah, I don't think they will.
I don't think so either.
I don't think they will. Just because it would be a bad look for them. We was just defending this man. Now we turn around and prosecute because they knew he was lying from the beginning. Taco said they knew the story didn't make sense, but they seen it was a high profile celebrity, and that's the exact reason why Lewin kept bringing up Rihanna's name. And Taco said it yesterday on Justice Serve channel. I never once mentioned Rihanna.
Lawmaker, thank you for letting me have fun and not blocking me either. Oh yeah, thanks a lot, Lawmaker. Yeah, no problem. Until next time, I know you're gonna have. Hey, who the next person you want to be guilty? Let me know. Let me know so we can cover it. And it might be a rapper trial. He gonna get on us if it's another rapper trial. But hey, y'all see the media that was swarming. Y'all seen the media that I just played. Look at all these people here.
It ain't nothing personal, Law Malcolm.
This is what the people want to see. I mean, hey, we cover, some trials that people that just not interested in. So you try to cover the ones that the majority of the people want to see, so you can get more done. If you covering something that nobody really just care about, then you're not really getting as much done. You might spend weeks and weeks.
It's true.
Yeah, so I try to do the one, and this one garnered a lot of attention. So that's why it's rappers and celebrities and things of that nature where you can reach more people and inform them of the law. But we get my emails in the description of every video. So yeah, if y'all need to contact me or the community tab, if y'all find a trial, put it there, and we'll just see the feedback. Told you to pick Lawmaker. He told you to pick the next rapper, right? Pick the next rapper you want to go to jail. You and what's her name? They want him to go to jail. Pick the next one.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it Tia?
If it was an ATL, they would.
Yeah.
The guy in Memphis that went on a shooting spree representing himself. When is that trial? Ribbon of Gororo? Let me see. Shooting. Oh, that's my computer. Come on. Okay. Shooting spree, Memphis. Okay. Ezekiel Kelly. When is his trial? And they said Daryl Brooks, y'all know he represented himself. They said he fired his court appointed, his attorney. He want to represent himself again. Okay, yeah, Ezekiel's trial is set for July. July. That should be interesting. I always like to see pro se people represent themselves.
You know what?
I don't recommend it at all, especially when you're accused of some serious crimes.
You know what I heard from a judge said this. Matter of fact, it might have been like a high court justice or a judge. They said, man that represents himself, got a dummy for a lawyer and a fool for a client.
Yeah, it's not recommended at all.
No, that's the worst move a person can make.
Yeah, represent yourself is bad business.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't if you're convicted, you can't file ineffective assistance of counsel on yourself.
You're right. That's true.
That's why when you get trial lawyers, they go to trial. If they lose, you have an appellate attorney, a different attorney, because a trial, you're not going to go to trial with somebody, TTL, lose the case, and then file the appeal and file ineffective assistance of counsel on yourself. I have not seen one lawyer do that.
Right. And that's why most lawyers don't handle the appeal. Who is Nasty Nesta? What? I don't know who that is. What about the rapper that killed the two dudes? Allegedly. Law Malcolm. And you talking about YNW Melly. We've been covering that. But his trial, I believe, is in September.
September, yeah.
So, you know.
But that case is crazy. I mean, you don't even have to wait for the trial for that case, because you can, all the drama that's going on with his lawyer, that female.
Right.
You can just watch that stuff.
And you know, she was her and her office was kind enough. We reached out to them to see if they'd come on and speak, but they said not now, not at this time, because the trial is going on. And I kind of get that the trial's going on, that they got her under investigation and all these allegations. They're trying to get her kicked off the case. And the last thing you want is, you know, give them ammunition to add to the pile of why she should get kicked off. So I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like what was the lawyer name in the YSL trial? The chick that got arrested and charged and indicted for racketeering and what was it? Gang stuff. Remember the female lawyer? I forgot who she is representing.
Who?
The female lawyer that got charged. The one they said called one of the co-defendants in the YSL trial, told him to get rid of the gun or something. She got indicted.
She said get rid of the gun?
Yeah, that's what they claim. And they indicted her.
And who was she again?
I can't think of her name. Matter of fact, I think in this second set that's going to court, one of them she was back representing them. Matter of fact, was it Duke? Was it YSL Duke that she was representing? It was one of them.
They said she beat those clients. Her client took the plea. Oh, okay.
Yeah, her client took a plea. I remember that.
Yeah.
Then they were showing her, had videos on her in her car driving, bumping Young Thug music.
You may be talking about that Nicole Fagan or Fagan.
Yeah, her. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think her client recently took a plea. Yeah, her client, because I remember seeing her on one of the streams. They said she beat those charges.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
It's because the DA charged you, especially the DA in Atlanta, you can't put nothing past them. They accuse anybody of anything. But when you pull the curtain back, they ain't got nothing. They ain't got no case.
Right. That's just like the one lawyer, they arrested him for bringing his own medication prescribed to him, but they said it was in a different bottle. But he was still on the case. But all those cars, he beat that.
Yeah, they tried to say he assaulted a cop on that day too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what did he say? Threw a pill bottle or through his phone, was tossing it to somebody, and it hit one of the bailiffs or something.
Right.
And they charged him with that.
He represented Miles Farley, and I believe we also reached out to him as well. He was real nice. He was real nice, and he was like, "No, he just let the plea speaks for itself."
Yeah.
And his client was able to go. And I understand some people just not really into getting on camera and talking and and doing
Right.
all this YouTube stuff. So I get it. I totally understand it. And some people be in the chat, but they won't hit that link. They would not hit that link.
Right.
It's all good. But all right. We'll definitely be looking out for the next one.
Oh yeah, and I'll be in touch with you because we're gonna have to get something ASAP over. Know what we got coming up. So, but I'll be in touch, man, and I'll email you get some little I need to get little tips from you, few little tips from you on some stuff.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and yeah.
Hey, won't hit the link. Yeah, I'm talking about you, get them, Joe, and a few others. Hey, y'all be talking about Law Malcolm, but Law Malcolm even hit the link one day. Hey, Law Malcolm hit the link and came up. So, so I don't want to hear y'all saying nothing about Law Malcolm when his opinion is different from the majority. Hey, because he stood on business. Come on here. Rev it up, say they won't even hit the like button, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
They won't even hit the like. Come on. Talking about the link. They'll look you dead in your face for 3.5 hours. And then when you done hit the X, I ain't hit no like button. I don't even like him like that.
Yeah.
Rocky should be in jail. Rocky not in jail. I'm not hitting no like button today.
Oh yeah. Some people feel that way, and some people still feel that way.
Oh yeah, they're going to be mad as I don't know what tonight.
Yeah.
And Rocky going home in his own bed. So hey.
Right.
I advise y'all get y'all some good rest because he ain't finna lose no sleep.
Yeah, tell them don't go to bed mad, just go to bed.
Just go to bed and rise early on the next day. They said, okay, I give Law Malcolm his proud. Shout out to Law Malcolm. Shout out to Law Malcolm.
Nah, he I respect it because he just giving his opinion just like we giving ours. Just because his opinion, him or anybody, not just Law Malcolm, but anybody, just because their opinion different than yours or mine or whoever, ain't no need to try to throw shade at him.
Right.
It's his opinion. Listen, nobody knew what was going to happen. Nobody knew if it was going to be guilty or not guilty.
Right.
And I'm quite sure, hell, I was sitting there nervous like I was on trial.
The way they
And
was passing that paper around, I was like,
Yeah.
well, what is it?
Right. You know, so heck, I was nervous because I'm looking like, because at the end of the day, you never know if you're not on a jury, you never know what a jury is going to say.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
I better not even look at no gun right now. I don't want to. I want you to stay all the way out the way.
nah, no, just don't carry no prop gun. Carry a real gun. And if you have to use it, well, no, he got
We got
bodyguard.
security, yeah.
He got security, so he don't even, you know.
I mean, 'cause
But
we saw what happened with OJ. He was found not guilty, but all them years later, they came back and backdoored him.
right, oh yeah, you know they you know,
yeah. Mm-mm.
yeah. So yeah, you know, you gotta move smart.
They may
You
need
know?
to invest some of their dollars into criminal justice reform in California. Maybe clean up, donate to the local elections, and be a voice and get some of those politicians out of office. Send them packing for even bringing this type of case.
Right, right, because you know taxpayers paid for that case.
Right. Wasted a
You
lot of
know,
money.
yeah, you know they probably wasted a couple $1 million just
Now,
because of how high profile it was, all the extra security and all of that.
now everybody gonna be looking upside the DA's head tomorrow. Like, what what y'all doing?
Well, I
And from
want to
my
see.
understanding, is a new administration had took over, but still, I mean, you didn't come in and throw the case out. You allowed it to proceed.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, listen, it's not gonna stop. Those people have too much power. You know, they got too much power.
Well, apparently Lewin said not really, Rocky and Rihanna have a lot of power too, so maybe they can use some of their power to shake it up in LA. Somebody said, "Oh yeah, good night, good night." Somebody said, "Go fish those tacos." Celebrate eating tacos for the win.
Right. I think you know Young Thug, you know, they filed a motion. They trying to get a hearing about his property that's missing.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be an impossible task. I mean, they're gonna all just keep pointing the fingers. We left it with his family. They had it, and the family gonna say, "No, we didn't have it. They had it." So, unless you're talking about the property that they still have,
some of that and the missing property.
Missing property, yeah. Somebody said, "Can y'all just we finna get out of here. We finna get out of here. Y'all just stop so I can go." Yeah, I know we.
Yeah, it's 10:30. I'm gonna drop down. Let you say your
Okay. All right. All right.
And,
Well, you have a good one. We'll be in touch.
Yep, I'll be in touch, man.
Okay. All right.
Have a good one. Appreciate you, bro.
Oh yeah, no problem.
All right.
All right, y'all. So let's get out of here. Thank y'all. Thank you, Mr. Jones, Lady VJ. Y'all always come up, keep the stream going. And then I want to thank really quickly. I want to thank Toker Baddies for the 5 gold memberships that was gifted to other members and subscribers in the stream. And thank you, Toker, for being a member yourself. Thank you so much for that. And also, C-Mac came through with 10 for the win. Thank you for that. And Revenant Guerrero came and backdoored with another gold membership. So thank y'all so much for all of that. Yeah, good night, y'all. Good night. Yeah, good night. Oh yeah, no problem, Law Malcolm. Let me know if you find something else you want to cover. But before I go, let me give my legal disclaimer. No legal advice intended. I'm a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. I'm just here to talk that law. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Let's go.